This is Audible.
This is Gorilla Mindset, how to dominate and unleash the animal inside of you. Better self-control, improved health and fitness, and more money. Written by Mike Cernovich and narrated by Mike Cernovich. Thank you so much for listening to Gorilla Mindset. In Gorilla Mindset, you're going to learn how to improve your self-confidence by changing the way you talk to yourself and others. You're going to learn how to reframe challenges as opportunities for personal growth. You're going to learn how to change your moods and to stop feeling bad and stop feeling anxious and depressed. You're going to learn how to be more mindful and conscious. You're going to eliminate feelings of frenzy and absent-mindedness. You're going to develop clear, sharper, and more focused thinking. You're going to have a body that feels good and works for you rather than against you. You're going to earn more money by thinking of yourself as a personal brand, and you're going to live a life so remarkable that you were previously too afraid to imagine it. I've been at this for a while, and we're going to get to work. Thank you so much again for listening to Gorilla Mindset. Introduction. Change your mindset, change your life. Gorilla Mindset is a book for those of you who want more of life. That more complete control of your emotions, a better relationship, more money, better romances, a more rewarding career, or even freedom from anxiety and depression. But there's a catch. To get more out of life, you must get more out of yourself. You must take personal responsibility for your thoughts and your emotions. You must stop blaming the system. The days of looking outside of yourself for answers are gone. This goes against what we've all been taught. We're told that the secret to getting more out of life is to buy some new gadget, or a car, or drink beer, or smoke cigarettes. One successful cigarette ad campaign proclaimed, "You've come a long way, babe," as if inhaling cancer represented a triumph of women's liberation and the apex of human freedom. All of us have tried filling the void with material objects. We see something bright and shiny. Maybe there's a new watch, or a new car, or a piece of jewelry. Something says that we're lacking, and if we make this purchase, it'll fill that void. But it's a lie. To get more out of life, you must get more of yourself. The hard work. This is not a book of feel-good nothingness or validation. It starts with you. The work is hard, but it's also fulfilling. Gorilla Mindset will teach you how to get the most out of yourself. By the time you finish this book, you will be on your way to total control of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. The building blocks of your life. You will get more out of life by getting more out of yourself. Who is Mike Cernovich? That's a way of saying, who am I? As this is a practical book on mindset, you want to know why it'll work for you, and quite frankly, who am I to tell you anything about life? Those are legitimate concerns. That techniques in Gorilla Mindset, while being involved with the science, was first applied to my own life and the life of others. I grew up as a child in welfare. I had holes in my clothes. My parents were well-meaning and good people. They had no concept of how to make or save money. They made mistakes and did the best they could, which is all you can expect from anyone, but they did make a lot of mistakes. Not only was I a poor kid growing up, but I was naturally chubby. I was bullied. I was afraid to walk home from school, as more often than not I would be jumped. I was called names. My dad told me to start taking martial arts. He even started taking classes with me, but I was not naturally athletic. I was clumsy and out of shape and couldn't even do a single push-up. I hated martial arts classes and would have quit if my dad hadn't been there for me. I just went through the motions because I had no talent or belief in myself. One day a bully beat me up badly. It was humiliating. My sister had to pull the attacker off of me. I felt demoralized and powerless. There was a mattress in our garage, and I went there and lay down on it, and I cried myself to sleep. When my dad came home from work, he opened the garage door, looked down at me with part pity and part contempt, and he asked me one question that changed my life. When are you going to get serious? Those words, coupled with the expression on his face, were a wake-up call for me. I made the decision there. I would get serious, very serious. I trained until my body was exhausted and hit the heavy bag until my knuckles bled. When I read in the martial arts magazine that Thai fighters did 10 rounds of boxing on the heavy bag, I decided to do the same thing. When I learned that Thai boxers would roll up magazines and hit their shins and legs to toughen themselves up, I did that as well. I learned that when you consciously put in work, you make progress. You might have terrible genetics. You might have the potential to be in the Olympics, or you might not have the potential to do much, but you will improve. I earned my black belt in Taekwondo, box, and began beating all the bullies who bullied me. I had hair trigger and would even look for reasons to fight, but I was never happy and my social skills were poor. I was awkward and weird. My mindset was based on vengeance rather than exploration, connecting with people, and being happy. At one point I was invited to attend a school lock-in at the YMCA with a bunch of other classmates. I was afraid that I was going to get into a fight, so I put Tiger Balm to keep my joints warm, just in case. I also didn't perform well in school, with every teacher having the same line to my parents at teacher meetings. Michael is so smart, he does not live up to his potential. It wasn't that I enjoyed getting into trouble, But I grew up in a poor neighborhood. Where I came from, getting good grades and doing homework wasn't the norm. I'd get into fights, steal stuff from the grocery store, shoot out car windows with a BB gun that I stole. When one of my acts of vandalism made the local newspaper, I even clipped it out and looked at it with pride. To change my life, I had to change my mindset. I had to stop looking at life from a negative, vengeance point of view. I decided to apply myself to my life and to make it better. I became a well-known lawyer, a writer, and now I'm a podcaster who travels the world. In a lot of ways, my successes make me laugh, as my life story is unbelievable, and I never would have imagined it could have been possible. And I'm still working at improving every day. Sometimes when people say they like me or ask my advice, it's hard to understand why. There are days I still feel like the fat kid who was afraid to walk home from school. But here I am, successes, failures, and flaws, and all their shame and all their glory. So maybe you'll find the answer to what you're looking for. But I'm going to ask you, isn't it time for you to get serious? If you want to change your mindset, you have to know what is mindset. Mindset is a set of assumptions, methods, or beliefs that you live by, and that other people live by, and that it modifies your behavior and changes your behavior. In other words, if you have certain mindset beliefs, you're going to behave according to those beliefs. Imagine a computer. Monitor, keyboard, and processor are the hardware. Without any software to run it, your computer would be worthless. Your body is your hardware, and your mindset is your operating system. It gives you access to the power of the hardware and determines what software you can run. It lets you get the most out of your computer, allowing you to balance your checkbook or create 3D designs. Your mindset determines how you perceive and interact with the world. The mindset revolution was started by Dr. Carol Dweck, who wrote her book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. In Mindset, Dr. Dweck identified powerful research in psychology to show the differences between success and failure often have less to do with your talent and more to do with the mindset. Specifically, some people had what's called a fixed mindset and some people had a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset would think, well, I got what I got, my talent is what it is, and because of that they wouldn't challenge themselves. Other people who maybe didn't have that natural talent but had a growth mindset would say, yeah, I don't have the greatest talent in the world, but I know that I can get better and I can improve. But when you look at people over years, people with the growth mindset actually out-succeeded people who had that fixed mindset. So Dr. Dweck's work is important and valuable, but it's primarily a scholarly work rather than one focused on application. In Gorilla Mindset, you learn how to apply those mindset principles to your own life. In addition, you're going to learn how to think about the world through the mindset of abundance. Adopt an abundance mindset. Just as mindset can be understood as being growth or fixed, the scarcity and abundance mindsets also create a polarity. Those who have an abundance mindset are far more likely to be happy with their lives, and they're more likely to succeed and accomplish their goals. What is the difference? Well, imagine you start with the assumption that we live in a world of limited possibilities. That is a fixed mindset and it's a scarcity mindset. If you look around and you see a world of scarce resources, you view yourself as having scarce resources. When you think of yourself that way, you're not going to grow. Now imagine you believe the world is massive and full of possibilities. Anything you want to do is possible. You recognize that what you do matters, that your choices matter. You recognize that each new day is full of possibilities. How would you act if you knew that anything you wanted to do was possible? Would you live your life differently if you believed that you were abundant, full of potential? Well, your mindset is a choice. Think of those of you who have children when you're a playful dog, and how each day they wake up with excitement and curiosity. My dog wakes me up in the morning, he jumps up on my bed and licks my face. He acts as if he has never seen me and that our day presents endless excitement. To him, it's as if chasing a ball is something he has never done. He begins each day with an abundance mindset, knowing that anything is possible. But we all started off as children. We had that abundance mindset, and we had a genuine fascination and curiosity about life. Somewhere along the way, we lost it. But mindset is a choice, and you can find it if you choose to view the world as one of abundance. Change your mindset, change your life. Remember the definition of mindset. It's a set of assumptions and beliefs that you have, and that they're so powerful that your behavior will conform to those beliefs. I know this better than a lot of people too. As I said, I used to have that fixed mindset. I had that scarcity mindset. But I learned how to view the world from one of abundance into one of growth. So what I want you to do is understand that the answer to all of life's most difficult problems resides inside of you. You might find that controversial now because you might feel frenzied or stressed out, but it is there if you learn to look at yourself as a resourceful person. I've helped thousands of people change their mindset throughout the years. Men have learned how to be more confident, assertive, and happier by changing their mindset. I have a whole lot of reviews on iTunes that I suggest you read. People have said that the podcast is mind-bending, that it's altered their consciousness. They've said that I provide the most honest outlook on life and that if you just apply these principles, you will change and that change is possible. So I'm here to help you find the right mindset, and this book is for you and for those of you who are willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. You have the permission and tools you need to succeed. When is the last time someone sat next to you and asked you what your hopes and dreams were? When has somebody said, what do you want out of life and how can I help you get it? That isn't what happens though. Society usually only speaks about what you owe them, your duties, your responsibilities, and they load you up like a packed mule. You're not allowed to do what you want because that might eliminate your ability to serve others. But what about you? What do you want? What you need is permission, and you need tools. I'm giving you permission. As of right now, you have permission to live life on your terms, to live your dreams. This book is the tools, but you have to apply them to your own life to get what you want out of life. The Gorilla Mindset System. At the heart of Gorilla Mindset, or should we say the mind, is going to look at your self-talk, the way you frame things, your mindfulness, and also your movement state. We're also going to talk about your health and fitness and how working out and lifting weights can improve how you think. This isn't going to be a book that tells you how to get ripped or get abs. It's going to be a book that tells you how to improve how you think by getting the most out of your body. Gorilla Mindset Shifts. Throughout this book, there are immediate steps you can take that changes the way you think. We call these mindset shifts. The mindset shifts act as a sort of shift in your brain. While these shifts are subtle, you'll find that they turn on parts of your brain that you hadn't used and cause you to think about life differently. At the end of each chapter, we also have some habits for you. We call these Gorilla Mindset Habits. And these are actionable habits that you can apply immediately to your life. They're small habits, but big change takes small steps. Gorilla Mindset Worksheets. And a lot of times, too, it's helpful to write out your patterns of thought and to put pen to paper or put your keyboard to work. Where applicable, I've included worksheets that you can use to further these exercises and enhance your understanding of mindset. The Gorilla Mindset Shifts, habits, and worksheets are going to reinforce what you read. So it isn't a theoretical book. It's a book that you apply to your life. How to use this book. This is a workbook, not a lecture. The operative word is work, and you will need to make a commitment to putting in work every day. Reading the book alone is going to be a waste of your time. What I suggest you do is print out the book. If you have the paperback version, write as much as you can. If you're listening to the audiobook, write stuff out. When you put your body and mind together working, when you write it out, when you annotate things, it activates parts of your brain that you might not use. Writing is a physical act that engages your body and mind. It also puts your words into real life so that they're not abstract thoughts. Take ownership of your life. Start by taking ownership of your words. Perform the exercises at the end of the chapter, and you will develop a more powerful, stronger mindset. Remember, this is your book. You own it. If you don't agree with something that I've said, you don't have to argue with me or prove me wrong. Change it. A lot of what we're going to do here is encourage a conversation. The point is that you do something. If this book instills in you a sense that you must lead a more productive, more conscious life, even if you disagree with all the things I tell you to do, then my job has been done. I'm here to share concepts and specifics, but I'm not a guru. Part of changing your mindset is engaging actively in your own life and the lives of others. So again, if you disagree with me, great, try something different. Now let's get to work. Chapter 1. Mindset is a conversation. Power of self-talk. Imagine a friend of yours came over to you for some advice. Perhaps he lost his job or his wife left him or some other tragedy hit him. Imagine he was facing a real crisis and turned to you for help. What would happen if you said, "Your life is over. You always make these mistakes"? You probably wouldn't have that friend for long, would you? While you should never candy coat the truth, being overly dramatic is inaccurate and unhelpful. Our friends turn to us for a combination of emotional support, validation, and actionable advice. You should support yourself in the same way. Gorilla Mindset Shift. Treat yourself like a treasured and trusted friend. Shouldn't you treat yourself like a trusted friend? Think about how you talk to yourself when you're down. Here's some actual things I've said to myself. You are so stupid. Why does this always happen to me? My life is over. I always make the same mistakes. While those negative sentiments are bad in themselves, what makes them worse is how dramatic they are. If you said that to other people, again, they would think, well, I don't always make that mistake. My life isn't over. Well, why do we talk to ourselves like that? Think about people you know who are hysterical and make overreactions. Don't we do that to ourselves? It's time to change that, and you can change it by improving your self-talk. What is self-talk? Self-talk is that interlocution. It's that conversation you have. It's that running dialogue. And where did you learn it? Well, you probably just learned it from what other people said to you. For the most part, we learn how to talk how? Having other people talk to us. So a lot of our self-talk didn't even come from ourselves. And no one taught us how to improve our self-talk. It just happened through osmosis. We silently repeated the same speaking patterns and words and phrases that others had, and that changed our mindset. And that changes often in a very bad way. But it's time to take control of your self-talk, and you can take control of your self-talk by following these self-talk methods. How can you improve your self-talk? There's a well-known marketing adage that applies to your self-talk as well. If you don't like the conversation, change it. Gorilla mindset shift. Change the conversation you have with yourself. To improve your self-talk, the first step is to recognize that you're actively engaging in self-talk. Now, this may seem obvious, but how many times does your mind spiral out of control, your thoughts spun away, and you didn't know what you were thinking? Well, there's a way to control that. Write it down. Write down that self-talk. Then look at it on a piece of paper so that you can literally see the things you're saying to yourself. Once you recognize that you're engaged in the conversation, then you can change it. Here are 4 actionable steps you can take to improve your self-talk. 1. Talk to yourself in a mirror. Rather than merely attacking yourself in silence, bring the conversation out. Find a mirror, look in the mirror, and begin talking. Do not censor yourself. Have the same conversation in front of the mirror that was going on in your head. And as you're talking, look at yourself. Look at your facial expressions. Is that person that you're looking at in the mirror the kind of person that you want to see? Well, that's the kind of person that your mind is hearing when you talk to yourself that way. 2. Record those nasty voices. Get a tape recorder and record yourself. Again, don't censor yourself. Be real. Say everything that you were just saying to yourself out loud. And then in a day or 2, play back the recording and listen to it. You're going to realize it sounds ridiculous. And you might not like the way it sounds. In fact, a lot of people hear it and they cringe. That's an important part of improving your self-talk. When you listen to it and you don't like what you're hearing, ask yourself, why am I talking to myself that way? Why would I talk to myself that way? Record it, listen to it, and then when you've decided that that's ridiculous, you can delete that recording. But if you catch yourself talking to yourself like that again, get out the tape recorder and record it. 3. Ask yourself questions. Criticism and self-hate are not based on open inquiry. They're based on value judgments. More often than not, these value judgments didn't even come from you, they came from somewhere else. So rather than start talking to yourself in declarative statements, start asking yourself questions. Again, self-hate isn't a rant. Self-hate is not based on inquisitiveness. It's based on just screaming and being annoying. Well, talk to yourself by asking yourself questions. Ask yourself, am I being a hateful person? Do I want to be a hateful person? Am I being a drama queen? Am I the type of person who loses my mind over stupidity and nonsense? Am I choosing in this moment to be the type of person I want to become? Ask yourself those questions and then answer them. Literally, start the conversation. To change the conversation, you ask the right questions. Ask questions rather than make statements about yourself. 4. Affirmations and mantras. Another way to improve your self-talk is to develop a mantra or an affirmation. This can be anything you want. Imagine the type of person that you want to be. Visualize that person, and then repeat your affirmation after you've written it, as often as you need to. Gorilla mindset shift. It's your affirmation. It can be as corny as you want it to be. What matters is that the power of self-talk resonates with you. You have permission to do any goofy new age stuff, so long as it works. Here are some examples of mantras. I'm unstoppable. You could even say from Apocalypse Now, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. You can say this is a challenge and it will test my resolve. And even if I don't win, I'm going to grow stronger. You can say today I was better than I was yesterday. You can say the only easy day in facing adversity today was yesterday. I knew a doctor who, when confronted with an adversity and a problem, would say mighty. He would just repeat to himself over and over and over again, mighty, 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 mighty. He was reminding himself who he was and who he wanted to be. Again, it doesn't matter what your affirmation is. If it works for you, it's good. Make it work for you. That is all that matters. It doesn't matter what I or anyone else thinks. The affirmation can also be long. It can be a full essay. It can be a sentence. It can be anything you want it to be. But you have to write it out and again think about who you want to be. For example, the Army Rangers have an affirmation or a mantra based on the Ranger Creed. It's a long sentence, but it goes like this. Never shall I fail my comrades. I will always keep myself mentally alert, physically strong, and morally straight, and I will shoulder more than my share of their tasks, whatever it may be, 100% and then some. That's powerful living. Improving your self-talk will also improve your relationships. A lot of the reason that you talk to people in the way you do is based on how you talk to yourself. If you talk to yourself all the time, that puts you in a bad mood and makes you feel negative, and then you direct that negative energy out. Moreover, those same behavioral patterns and the same thought patterns and the same speaking patterns you use to yourself are going to be used on other people. So if you really want to improve your self-talk, if you really want motivation, ask yourself if you want better relationships with people. Well, the better relationships with people are going to come when you have a better relationship with yourself, and you're going to improve your relationship with yourself by improving your self-talk. How to create your own powerful affirmation. This is where the worksheets come into play. You want to write out your affirmation, and you want to kind of find a reason for that affirmation. A lot of research into the science of willpower shows that you're going to stick to your goals and you're more likely to achieve your goals if you have a reason for doing them. So when you create an affirmation, ask yourself, why do you want this affirmation? Again, your affirmation can be anything from the belief you hold about yourself to commitment to perform some new task and engage in a new set of habits. In other words, affirmation is not a fixed concept with a clear meaning. It is not a rule to live by. It is something that you apply to yourself. Fill in the blanks. Just say, I'm going to blank because blank. It could be anything, again. It doesn't matter. I'll give you an example. I'm going to go warm up my brain before work because I enjoy having clarity of thought and intense focus. Or I might say, I'm going to take a contrast shower because I want to feel invigorated. I'm going to get out of bed rather than hit the snooze button because I'm tired of being passive about life. Write out your affirmations. Type them out or write them out. It will make them more believable. It will also put body to your thoughts. Your affirmation could even be an essay. For example, I'll read you the essay that I use as my own affirmation in life. I call it I will. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe I'll be a contender. Mr. Maybe is the ultimate seducer. Mr. Maybe will whisper things in your ear. Tell you maybe you can, maybe you can't, maybe this is too hard, maybe it won't work. Committing to Mr. Maybe is easy because it requires no risk. You can rationalize anything. But later in life you're going to say, I could have been a contender. I could have done something. I don't listen to Mr. Maybe. There is no maybe. There is no might. There is no that sounds interesting. You're either in or you're out. There's the daily, hourly, minute-by-minute, unrelenting commitment. Make a commitment to yourself, starting this moment. It's a basic commitment that only requires 2 words. I will. I will treat today like the beginning of a new life. I will go to the gym. I will turn off the television. I will stop reading filth, rage, and clickbait websites. I will fuel my body for optimal performance. I will make more money than I will spend. I will visualize my perfect day. I will keep moving, fighting, struggling, and giving the world my all. I will fall asleep a better man than I woke up. Are you willing to kill Mr. Maybe? You're either in or you're out. What's it going to be? The self-talk worksheet. Again, self-talk refers to the conversation we have with ourselves. To improve this conversation with yourself, put your words into writing. Filling out this worksheet will help you become more mindful and conscious of your language and thought patterns. How do you speak to yourself? What words and phrases do you use when talking to yourself? What is the phrase most commonly used when you find yourself in a troubling situation? Write it out. Here's an example from my own life. I tend to speak in absolutes. If something doesn't go my way or when I make a mistake, I say to myself, you always mess this up. You never get this right. This negative thinking reinforces an unconscious belief that I am incompetent. It's harmful and destructive. When you talk to yourself that way, how do you feel? Again, write it out. When I talk to myself using that absolutist negative language, I feel disempowered, I don't feel motivated, I don't feel inspired, I feel hopeless. I don't want to feel that way. So write down how you feel when you talk to yourself that way. That's going to, again, help you engage in the process and change the way you self-talk because you're going to say, I don't want to feel that way. What is a new, empowering, or comforting phrase you can use when talking to yourself? Again, this can be a phrase you own. When you make a mistake, how can you recognize it, and how can you correct the mistake without beating yourself up? Write that out. Here's what I do. I wrote this out. I often make mistakes, but my mistakes are not an indictment of my character, but they're a reminder I'm human. Moreover, each mistake gives me an opportunity to reflect and grow. Yours could be something totally different. It doesn't matter. Guerrilla self-talk habits. 1. Avoid speaking in absolutes. Rather than saying I always make this mistake, recognize that each time you make a mistake, you can grow. Moreover, do you really always make the same mistake? Chances are you don't, so you're not even telling yourself the truth. Again, avoid speaking in absolutes. 2. Talk to yourself as you would a close friend. When you find yourself going on a rant against yourself, stop. Ask yourself, would I talk to a close friend or loved one like this? Chances are you wouldn't. And if you did, you probably wouldn't have any friends. 3. Smile when you're angry at yourself. Mood, posture, and facial expressions are all linked. And it's been proven that merely engaging in the physical act of smiling can lift your spirits and make you feel happier. When you start talking to yourself in a negative way, raise your body up, take a deep breath, and smile. You might find that the rant stops dead in its tracks. 4. Turn a critical statement about yourself into a question. Rather than blame yourself and talk down to yourself, ask yourself, how can I prevent making the same choice in the future? By asking yourself questions rather than judging yourself, you start to find solutions and you stop thinking about yourself in a negative way. 5. Talk to yourself in front of a mirror. Look at yourself as you talk to yourself. Repeat the same negative words in front of a mirror as you are in your head. How do you look? Is that the type of person you want to be? Chapter 2. Mindset is a choice. Change the way you perceive life's challenges. We've all heard the expression, it's all about your frame of mind. That is one of those pieces of homespun wisdom that everyone assumes you understand, but nobody explains. You're left with an intuitive sense that there's some kind of concept called frame, that it exists and that it matters. But when you think deeply about a frame, it turns up making us wonder, what is it? What is framing? Framing is how you choose to view things. It's the way you choose to understand situations and the way you can understand language. For example, as a lawyer, I learned a very technical meaning of frame. When lawyers speak of frame, they're talking about the key issue or legal question that matters in a case. That is, what question do you ask a judge or jury to decide? How you ask a question and what facts you include when asking a question often influences the answer. The entire book's devoted to how you ask the right questions when seeking a raise, a favor from a friend, or even a date. The way you ask a question can determine how the question is answered, and it's something that even children understand. When a child asks a parent for a privilege, they often frame the question as, Mom said I could stay the night at my friend's house. Is that okay with you? By including the fact that Mom said it's okay, the child is letting you know your answer won't cause drama or conflict. Even children know how to frame the issue. Framing the issue is so important that there are entire books on it, because life is messy. Not every fact matters, not every fact will help you. Some help you and some hurt you. The same is true of facts of your life. Psychologists also use the idea of framing when studying preferences, choices, and risk. Any choice can be described in terms of its good outcomes, its bad outcomes, or both. Whether a decision is described as a positive frame, focusing on the good outcomes, or a negative frame, focusing on the bad outcomes, will radically change not only the decision, but your willingness to take on the risk. For example, if I told you this operation has a 10% chance of killing you, what would you say? What if I said this operation has a 90% chance of saving your life? The decision would be entirely different because of the way the question was framed. Framing is part of our everyday life because in the real world decisions are complicated and problems are messy. We're all somewhat moral, somewhat immoral, we're also somewhat confused. Some facts help us and some facts hurt us. Whether we are conscious or not, we use these facts when telling stories to myself. And that again goes back to self-talk, and here's where we're going to tie it together. Remember your self-talk. The self-talk is the stories you tell yourself, right? It's the facts, it's the signals you send yourself. Well, you want to frame things when talking to yourself in a way that's going to be positive and inspirational and meaningful. So imagine your consciousness as a judge or jury, your parents, or a friend you must persuade. You want your conscious mind to believe in you. Framing is how your mind perceives whatever situation you're in. Framing is how you choose to think about and thus perceive a challenge in your life. Frame is self-talk. It's how you talk to yourself. When you're presented with an issue, do you say this is a challenge, it's an opportunity, or you say it's a horrible situation? Well, both things might be true, but you can frame it differently. You can frame yourself talking in a way that actually makes you feel resourceful, it makes you feel like you can accomplish your mission. Frame is also focus. Tony Robbins is a wildly successful self-help author, and he often says what you focus on is what you feel. He's recognizing that how you frame an issue, i.e. what you choose to focus on, will determine how you feel about the issue. And there's a lot of evidence on this, and there's a lot of scientific evidence, and there were some studies done on an Olympic medal winner. Here's a trick question. It's not a trick question, but it'll seem like it. Would you rather finish in second or third place? The answer would seem obvious to you. Obviously, if you have to choose between second or third place, you would want second place. Yet, studies showed that people who won the gold medal, the silver medal, and the bronze medal had different levels of happiness. For example, the people who won the silver medal were less happy years down the road than bronze medals winners were. But why is that? The study was called Why Less is More, Counterfactual Thinking and Satisfaction in Olympic Medalists. And what they found out was that it's a framing issue. The person who won the silver medalist framed the issue as, I almost won the gold. I was almost on the Wheaties box. I was almost the big time. The people who won the bronze medal framed it differently. They said, I almost wasn't even on the podium. I'm so grateful to be on this podium. See, even though one person, the silver medalist, technically finished higher than the bronze medalist was happy. And again, that was all about the frame. The silver medalist chose to focus on what might have been, the gold medal. The bronze medalist also chose to focus on what might have been, no medal at all. The silver medalist, rather than choose to focus how he almost became the gold medalist, should have been happy to have the silver medal, but that's not how we are. We choose to frame things differently. But remember, your frame is a choice. How you choose to view life's difficulties, and we're all going to have them. What you choose to focus on is a choice you make in the present moment. Will a mindset shift. Reframe the issues. Choose to focus on how the difficulty you're facing will make you stronger, more intelligent, more emotionally complex, and more resourceful. There's several ways you can change your frame of mind. You can frame your problem as being small relative to a worse problem. It's helpful to get out of our heads from, as you may have heard growing up, get over yourself. Someone always has it worse. Look around you, look at the world, express gratitude for what you have. That is what you're choosing to focus on. Choose to focus on what you have and not on what you don't have. You can also frame your problems as a source of power. Each problem you face is preparation for something bigger and better. What if instead of feeling hopelessness or self-pity, you reframed your problem in this way? Once I've gotten through this, I will have a reservoir of strength that will make me unstoppable. Sure, you'll have the same problem. Yet what happens to your mind and body when you change how you choose to think about the problem? Your breathing improves. Posture is upright. You no longer feel dejected. You develop a sense of, yeah, I got this. Remember that your mind and body are connected. When your frame is positive, you will feel stronger and more energetic as well. You'll embrace the struggle. You'll say to yourself, yes, this hurts, it is hard, but once it's over, no one will be able to stop me. Remember, frame starts with a choice. You can choose how you view your problems. You can choose to view everything as an opportunity for growth, or you can choose to view everything as being hopeless. Choice, as always, is yours. The frame control worksheet. Again, write this stuff out. What is your biggest problem? The problem could be anything. It could be health and fitness, it could be money and finances, it could be relationships. Whatever the problem is, it's your business, it's yours. Don't worry about what other people think. Write it out. After you've written out this problem, ask yourself, how can you reframe it as a challenge? For example, I have a horrible time sticking to a budget. I might say, my biggest problem is learning how to stick to a budget. I could reframe that problem as a challenge by saying, well, therefore I'm going to learn how to track my spending in a software program like Mint. In other words, I view this challenge not as, I can't do it, I can't stick to a budget, as I'm going to learn how to do it, and by learning how to do it, I'm going to become more resourceful, I'm going to become smarter, plus I'm going to have more money. Another thing you want to do is ask yourself, what is one area of your life that can be improved by choosing to frame this problem as an opportunity for growth? And then there's 3 ways of solving the problem. Again, you write this stuff out. What can you do and how can you do it? If you're stuck, here are some ideas. Remember that solving problems makes us more resourceful, which gives us more tools to succeed in life. Today's problem is going to give you shrinkage you can use to do something even bigger and better tomorrow. Think about how you're getting better, stronger, smarter, and more self-disciplined. You can also choose to frame your problem as being smaller relative to other problems. Remember that your Olympic medal is in. The silver medalist in the Olympics sees its problem as having not won the gold, whereas the bronze medalist feels lucky. It's not winning the medal all would have been even worse. Again, it's how you choose to frame the issue. Write out your problems and reflect on how much worse your life could be. This will also give you a sense of gratitude for what you have. Gorilla frame control habits. Here are some habits you can use to improve your frame. Watch your language. Instead of calling something a problem, reframe it as a challenge. It sounds like a cliche, but it really works. 2. Remember that growth is painful. Adopting a growth mindset is bittersweet. The bitterness comes from the pain accompanying growth. No pain, no gain really is true, but there's sweetness that comes from growth. Nothing feels as good as winning and becoming a better person. 3. Remember that pain is inevitable. Even if you didn't embrace the pain of growth, life is going to bring the pain anyway. You cannot choose whether it's coming, it's just a matter of time. As is a motto in the Game of Thrones, a hit book series, and later an HBO show, winter is coming. Once you accept that pain is inevitable and leads to growth, you'll be better prepared to endure that coming winter. 4. Take the long view. Challenges you face today will give you resources you need to succeed tomorrow. You fell down a lot as a toddler before you learned to crawl. You tripped when learning to run. At some point you were clueless and made mistakes, but those mistakes led to eventual mastery. 5. Embrace the suck. Let's face it, sometimes life is going to be hard and no amount of arguing or wish were otherwise will change. When you go through pains and points in your life where everything is hard, accept it and embrace it. There's a motto in the Army: embrace the suck. Army Rangers go through demanding training. For 58 days they average less than 2 hours of sleep a night. Every day is worse than the last. Bodies ache and break down. If they sat around complaining, they'd never get through training. Instead, they choose to embrace the suck, which allows them to endure. Chapter 3. Mindset is a moment. How to check into your life. We've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. The concepts we're learning and applying do not take millions of words to explain, but the concepts are deep and they apply real understanding to your life. The progress only occurs when you take action and you apply the principles in your life. We started off by talking about self-talk, then the powers of choices, frame, and focus. Now you're ready to learn about mindfulness and how getting to the moment and using those same techniques can give you freedom from anxiety and from worry. Some think of mindfulness as esoteric or abstract, but you see that it simply brings together all of the ideas we have covered and will have real practical consequences for your life. But what is mindfulness? It's helpful to look at the definition others use so we can see where we deviate and where we build on those things. Again, we don't get hung up on what words mean. We get hung up on how can you improve your life. If you look at Wikipedia or anywhere else, they'll say mindfulness is an intentional, accepting, and non-judgmental focus of your emotions, thoughts, and sensations in the present moment. A lot of people do meditation. It's a nice start, but does it really give you anything that you can apply to your life? I've been applying mindfulness to my life for over 15 years, and the dictionary definition doesn't really tell me that much. It's too vague. To understand mindfulness better, let's start with something more concrete. Sometimes to understand a concept, you want to look at the opposite of a concept. If you want to understand what being mindfulness is, think of what being mindless is. Mindlessness is low consciousness, being distracted is being unaware. Well, mindfulness is the opposite. Mindfulness is high consciousness. Here's how I view mindfulness. Mindfulness is freedom from anxiety or worry. Mindfulness is perception, not judgment. Mindfulness is getting out of your head and getting into your body. Mindfulness is checking in to the present moment. Mindfulness is being in the zone or the flow state. Mindfulness is being engaged. Mindfulness is being rather than doing. Now, your view of mindfulness may differ, and that's totally okay. Again, this is not a book where we argue about who is right or who is wrong. It's for you to apply these concepts to your life, because the answers are already inside of you, and all we need to do is get you through to yourself, to learn how to handle yourself. By the end of this chapter, you'll have your own understanding of mindfulness. But now that we have a working definition of it, let's get to the fun part. The rest of this chapter is divided into 2 sections. In the first part, we'll go through specific things you can do to become more mindful. In the second part, we'll look at very specific ways your increased mindfulness can be put to practical use to change your mood, your well-being, and your effectiveness in life. Part 1. How can we become more mindful? If you look at the dictionary definition of mindfulness, you're going to see something mentioning meditation. So the question is, do you have to do meditation to become more mindful? The answer is no. Meditation is one approach that some people use, And indeed, I studied under a Samadhi seminar master on meditation. And while meditation is valuable, it teaches you to control your breath and posture, which are two key components of mindfulness. But you don't need to do it. You can take a more active approach to life. Meditation is valuable, and it will help you relax. But my view of mindfulness is more active. I want to be fully immersed in experiences I find valuable. I want to rid my body of negative emotions, thoughts, and feelings while living my life. How does that sound to you? Would you like to be more actively engaged in your life? If so, then this mindfulness techniques will work for you. It does take discipline to become more mindful. To get into the present moment is an active process. It requires a lot of discipline and a lot of self-control. But you've already begun to develop those skills from the other chapters. You now see why we covered self-talk and planning before discussing mindfulness. Because now you already understand how to control your thinking, how to control your talk. These skills are going to be built upon and be applied to the mindfulness exercises. Here's how to use those self-talk and framing techniques to become more mindful. Where are you right now? Yes, I'm talking to you. Are you watching TV while skimming the words on the page? Or are you doing something else like doing the dishes while listening to the book? It's okay, I won't judge you. Don't judge yourself. Mindfulness, after all, is about perception rather than judgment. But use self-talk to get in the present moment. Right now I might say, I'm sitting on the couch reading a book. I'm rushed and I feel like I don't have enough time to finish it. The concepts are a bit esoteric. I don't know if this stuff will work for me. What is going on here? In other words, just check into where you are using that self-talk. Talk to yourself in the present moment. Work through what you're doing. And then try this. Try to turn off that judge. Just speak without any kind of judgment about what you're actually doing. You can just say, I am doing X, Y, and Z. I'm taking a walk while listening to this book. I'm doing dishes while listening to this book. But don't judge yourself. Or you could even take a different approach. You could reframe it. If you disagree with something, you could say, I disagree with this book, but that doesn't make me angry because I'm engaging actively in the process of growing. I'm learning more about myself and I'm improving myself even though I might not agree with everything. You see what you did there? All you're doing is you're checking in. You're becoming more conscious. You're becoming more engaged. You're becoming mindful. You're using the same self-talk and framing techniques to check into the present moment. That's all mindfulness is. Mindfulness is being checked in, which we often don't know about until we're checked out. When we check out, we become breathless. We've all heard that expression, breathless. When you're breathless, you're not in control of your body, you're not checked in, you're spinning out of control. A lot of times that leads to hyperventilation. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? What now? I can't believe this is happening. You're not mindful because you're not aware in the present moment. What you're doing is you're focusing on the future, the anxiety, the things that might not even happen. What you want to do is learn how to check into the present moment. And the surest way to get into the present moment is to become aware of yourself, become aware of your body. When you become aware of your body and you control your breathing, you become more relaxed and your thinking becomes more clear. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can use these mindfulness techniques anywhere. For example, I use them when doing my podcasts. I have a popular podcast on iTunes called the Mike's Notes Podcast. Before each episode, I don't worry about what I'm going to do. I use the same mindfulness techniques. I use the self-talk. Before speaking, or sometimes I do talk out loud to warm myself up before I start speaking, I just check in. I'll give you an example. Right now I'm looking at a microphone that's black, it has a pop filter, and behind it there's another microphone. The microphone is on a stand. I'm in a studio. I can hear myself speaking through headphones. As I do this, I know that everything is going to flow. I'm not worried about, well, what if I say the wrong word? What if this happens? I'm completely checked in. Now, of course, people make mistakes and things happen, but I don't judge myself when I make these mistakes, and I don't get frustrated, because being frustrated takes me to a different outcome. It takes me outside of the present moment. So rather than be worried about what's going to happen next, or whether I'm going to make a mistake, or whether I'm going to do something else, I just become engaged in the process of speaking. When I'm checking in, I'm not worried about what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. I'm just becoming aware. Because of this, I don't have any kind of anxiety. I just check into the moment and I make things happen. You want to learn how to check into your body to become more mindful. Our bodies are kind of weird, aren't they? We often aren't even aware of them unless we feel deep pain or injury. For the day-to-day lives, we don't really notice much about our bodies. But when they're hurt, we notice them. Why is that? It's because we're not checked into our body. We tend to view ourselves as sort of brains, with a blob and it resolves in a meat sack and it just sort of hangs out. But a powerful way to improve your mindfulness is to check into your body and become fully aware and immersed inside of your body. To make the gorilla mindset shift, check into your body by using self-talk. Talk about what your body is doing and feeling in the present moment. To become aware of your body and where you are, just check into where you are right now. You're obviously listening to an audiobook. Are you lying flat on your back? Are you sitting up? Are you doing the dishes? Is the TV running? Maybe you're in the bathtub, maybe you're walking. It doesn't matter. What you just want to do is become aware of your body, and you want to use those self-talk techniques. For example, I'm laying down on my back, I have headphones on, I'm listening to this audiobook. It doesn't matter, but you want to think about where your body is, how it's positioned. And as you do this, you're going to become more aware and more conscious of your body. And how can you improve your body? Well, you have to be checked into it, right? You have to be aware of it. So think about it. How is your neck tilted? Is it crinked? Are you leaning forward? Are your shoulders popped forward? Again, it doesn't matter. Don't judge yourself. Don't say you're right. Don't say you're wrong. Just become aware of your body. And then once you've done that, we're going to go on to part 2. How to use mindfulness to achieve your goals and improve your life. Part of achieving your goals is learning how to move with purpose and to accomplish things with purpose. One of the best ways to do that is to change how you walk. In fact, one of my most popular podcasts was called How to Move and Live with Purpose. In the podcast, I walk people through a mindfulness exercise that I actually use in walking that you can use. And we're going to talk about that now. For example, when you walk, are you conscious? How's your posture? How do you land? Are you kind of falling forward and leaning back? We all think we know how to walk, but do we really know how to walk? If you look at how people walk, you'll see that a lot of people, they shuffle their feet, the posture isn't erect, and that they're off balance the entire time. For most people, walking is regaining your balance after losing it with each and every step. We don't notice our physical gait. But when you check into your body, and you check into how you walk, you start to notice that you move with more focus and you move with more determination. You'll also look and feel more confident. So the gorilla mindset shift is start to live with the purpose by walking with the purpose, and learn how to walk by using self-talk as you walk. Again, keep an open mind. It might seem a little weird. We all think we know how to walk. But how do we learn how to walk? We'll be conscious about it, or it just sort of happen. So to become one with your body, pay attention. We do have poor posture. Our gait isn't sure. So the next time you go for a walk, get in touch with your body. Start with your feet. Say to yourself, my feet are striking the ground. Yes, actually use the self-talk. You may say something like, okay, my feet are walking on the ground, touching the ground. Left foot, right foot. Feel the toe, feel the toe. While having this conversation, you'll suddenly become aware of how your feet move when walking. It isn't something most of us are usually aware of. For example, we walk and we tend to land on our heels, and then we kind of fall forward, and then we kind of propel ourselves forward, and we're kind of off balance, but we don't really know what we do. But that's not actually the best way to walk. The way you want to walk is to be more on the balls of your feet. So you want to start walking a bit differently, and there's a way to change that. But again, it starts with the present moment. Use that self-talk. Heel the toe, heel the toe. Then say, I'm going to flex my calf a little bit. As you're walking, just flex your calf a little bit. You notice you're going to become more aware of your body now and aware of the balls of your feet, and your calves may even develop a slight pump. Maybe that was always there, but now again you're becoming aware. Continue the conversation. I feel the balls of my feet now. I feel how my foot flexes. I feel my arch. My calves are burning slightly. Even though walking is not rigorous, you may feel your breath increase, and you may feel your heart rate increase. Your pace may increase too because you're now moving forward on the flap of your calves. The next step is to think about your glutes flexing. Your glutes are just your butt muscles, and when we walk, we usually don't flex our glutes. We tend to fall forward, which causes the pressure to go onto our quadriceps. Well, as you start walking and as you start propelling yourself on the balls of your feet, you're going to start flexing your glutes, and then you're going to feel yourself start to stand up straight. Your glutes are going to flex a little bit, and it will feel a little bit weird. A lot of us have what's called gluteal amnesia. Gluteal amnesia literally means your glutes are asleep, and that's because we sit too much. We rarely use our glute muscles as they're not activated while sitting. As you're walking and flexing, your glutes are going to move, they're going to flex, and you may even feel a slight pump. All of this feels a little bit weird at first, but go with the process. Your hips might also feel a little tight now. Because as you're walking, your body is stretching out more and your hips are opening up. Again, since most of us spend way too much time sitting, we have gluteal amnesia, that is, our glutes don't flex. Our hips are tight because we're leaning forward all the time. But when you start walking in this manner, your body is going to stretch out and you will feel your hips start to tighten up a little bit, and you will feel your ab muscles might even feel a little bit tighter first. Now you want to start thinking about moving your shoulders back. Again, sitting is so fatal and we all do too much of it. Most of us, we have our shoulders pronated. They kind of lean forward. That's because we're writing or because we're not sitting back with good posture. When you're walking, you want to start raising your shoulders back, and you're going to feel your whole posture start to change. Again, everything is connected. First you think, I know how to walk, but as you're walking, you're on the balls of your feet, and then you're flexing your calves, and then you're flexing your glutes, you're feeling your hips opening up, your abs opening up, suddenly your chest is higher, suddenly your shoulders are back, and then notice what happens to your mindset. Your mindset actually improves. As you walk this way, you literally feel more confident, you feel more certain. Well, why? Because you weren't living in your body before, and you're living in your body now. You have a sense of connectedness and purpose. Most of the time when we walk, we're just mindless. But when you walk with purpose, you develop confidence and you feel better. So continue walking. Remember, you're on the balls of your feet, you're flexing your glutes, you're stretching your hips, and you're standing tall. Pay attention to your chest. Again, you're going to feel your chest open up and you're going to stand taller. That will change how you feel. Everything is connected. As you're walking, focus on your chest. Almost imagine like somebody's grabbing you by the nape of your neck, kind of like you see a mama bear grab a cub. That pulls your body up because you want to imagine your chest being pulled up. And as you do that, you're going to feel your chest raise up, and you're going to feel that your lower back is going to develop a little pump. Most of us, we have trained our bodies to have poor posture, and you realize now it takes a lot of effort to have proper posture. And you're not treating your body like an abstraction. You're becoming aware of every muscle in your body. You'll now notice when you walk that you have more flexion. You feel your body open up. You start to feel good. You start to feel one with yourself. You feel like you have more confidence. And again, your mood improves. If you want to understand this now, look around you. Do you see that most people have their chins hanging down? They kind of stare at the ground. But watch how they walk. Their shoulders slouch and their chins are down, and they have poor posture. They're not in touch with their bodies, but now you are. Get in touch with your body, and you're going to feel more confident. You're going to be more checked in. So practice walking. Notice how your gait changes. More importantly, notice how your mood improves. As you continue walking in a mindful way, you'll notice that your posture improves when you're standing up too. You develop the posture of a soldier, which gives you more confidence. You will now stand and walk with pride, focus, determination. You can also use mindfulness to deal with anxiety, concern, and worry. Anxiety is caused by focusing on an uncertain event in the future. We humans tend to have the same anxieties, and they largely involve money, friends, family, and health. We agonize over money, wondering how we can pay our bills. But when you're worried about some future event, it affects you in the present moment and it makes you feel not good about yourself. Living mindfully helps you get into the moment, which actually helps you solve problems. Yes, if you have money problems, you do want to solve them, you want to figure this stuff out, but letting your mind spiral out of control and feeling anxiety is actually a hindrance, and it makes it harder to solve these problems. Ask yourself, is being in a state of anxiety and worry going to solve a problem? Anxiety is just an emotion, and when it's emotion, it disempowers you and accomplishes nothing. When you learn to get into the moment and to engage in active meditation, you no longer feel anxiety because you get into a state of flow. And as you talk to yourself more, you get into the moment and suddenly you don't feel as much anxiety. Why don't you feel anxious? Because the logical mind wants a logical explanation for why you stop feeling anxious. Anxiety is just a feeling about anticipating some uncertain event in the future, but now you're checked in and now you feel better about yourself. After all, you don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. All you know what's going to happen is in the present moment. You can even use mindfulness at the gym. I perform a mindfulness warm-up before I lift weights. I started becoming more mindful of my training after I watched a day in the life video of Ty Green, professional bodybuilder and a very thoughtful person. Before he engages in brutal workouts, he checks in. He uses self-talk and mindfulness. He says, why am I here? What am I doing? What am I trying to accomplish? He also visualizes who he wants to become. I used to find long warm-ups a bore, and it took a lot of effort at first to complete them. But I later realized boredom is a result of not being in the present moment. As you become more checked into the present moment, you experience less boredom. But here are some practical steps you can take. Turn off your cell phone. Even better, leave it in your car or gym locker, or at the gym to lift weights. There's nothing that can't wait 30 or 40 minutes until you lift. Then get on a treadmill, exercise bike, or a stair climber. As your body starts moving, focus on having good posture, which we just talked about. Begin at a slow to moderate pace, and just ask yourself, why am I here? What do I expect to accomplish? And again, your answer could be anything. I tend to lift weights less for vanity, which used to be my goal, and more because I want to have a strong and powerful mind and because I want to live a long time. Your answer doesn't have to be my answer. Next, begin to feel your blood circulating. Your breath is going to increase, and you're going to feel sweat forming. You might even feel blood pumping to your brain, and that is a feeling that I really love. Tell yourself you're at the gym because you will feel better after the workout, that going to the gym benefits you and improves your clarity of thinking and overall health. Or again, maybe you want to look better for a reunion. It doesn't matter. The answer is yours, not mine. You also want to be mindful when lifting weights. There are people you see at the gym day after day, year after year, and they never make any progress. That's because they're always chatting with friends or they're looking at a cell phone. Check into your body. Feel each movement. You're at the gym to build your body and improve your health. Focus. You can also use mindfulness to create deeper connections. To connect deeply with other people, you must be there, you must be present, mindful, and engaged. Yet when we talk to people, we often feel like we're not heard. We feel like the person across from us is someone else. To make deeper connections, you want the person you're talking to feel like you're the only person in the room. Mindfulness is being present, is being helpful. So here are some things you can do. When you feel distracted during a conversation, you can check in with these mantras. Remember the mantras we talked about earlier? I actually use these regularly, especially when there's a lull in conversation and maybe I feel bored. I say to myself, there's no place else I'd rather be. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. There's nowhere else I'd rather see. I'm telling myself, this is the person I want to be with. This is the place I want to be. And when you tell yourself this, believe it. Believe there's nowhere else you'd rather be and there's no one else you'd rather see. When you believe that, the person can feel it. Using those two mantras will help you develop deeper, longer-lasting connections. Again, mindfulness is not just some random concept about meditation. It's about being aware. It's about being present. It's about your daily life. It's a technique you can apply all the time, wherever you are. The mindfulness worksheet. This is another one of those worksheets you actually should fill out. Ask yourself, when did you last feel on or in the zone or in flow? You'll likely notice that you have better days and you have worse days, and you want to figure out why that is. Become more conscious. Write out what you were doing and why you were doing it. For example, I might ask myself, why do I do a good podcast, or how can I have a good podcast? Well, before doing a podcast, I start talking out loud. Again, I just talk about what's in the room, I take in a bunch of deep breaths, I exhale deeply, I try to warm up my vocal cords. This also helps me develop the pace of my podcast. Again, that's my answer. I'm just giving it as an example. Your answer can be whatever you want it to be. Check in to whatever task you're about to perform. Before you begin a hard day at work, or a workout, or even a family dinner with the in-laws, check in. Ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Are you working hard to take care of your family? Find your motivation. Checking in will help you become more aware of your emotions and thoughts, and it will make even mundane or boring things more fulfilling and meaningful. This is another worksheet to fill out. I am about to blank. Fill in the blank. And I'm going to do this because blank and blank. Just write it out. Your reasons are your reasons. They're not my reasons, and it doesn't matter why you want to do what you want to do. For example, I would write, I'm about to go to the gym. I go to the gym because I feel great afterwards. The hour or so I suffer in the gym makes the rest of my life feel better. I have more energy, more vitality, and just feel better. Your answers can be different again. This isn't about me. This is about you. And if I do something unpleasant, maybe I don't want to visit a family member, give myself a reason. I'm going to visit my family because they're kind-hearted people who mean well and they have always been there for me. Whatever annoyances I face are small in comparison to the largeness of their hearts. Just take control of your thoughts, become checked in. That's all we're trying to do here. Fill out the worksheet and think of your own ways to become more mindful of life. These are some mindfulness habits that you can apply to your life, and they seem small, but remember, big changes start off small. If you want to push yourself further, start applying these habits to your life. 1. When you feel an emotion coming over your body, just ask yourself, where do I feel it in my body? Sometimes I feel anger in my arms. I don't understand why that is, but when I become aware of the feeling, it helps me dissipate it. You can also go big. If you can literally go big, find the ocean, look at skyscrapers, or waterfalls, or mountains. Just focus on the vastness of it. If you can't go big literally, a lot of those headphones things help. You put some music on, listen to it, imagine the waves crashing in. Buy an MP3 or a CD with that white noise or the sounds of rainfall. You can also buy one of those little miniature waterfalls. Listen to some house music, some jazz, or some classical music. Put on good headphones, again, become immersed in the experience, and just let the feelings wash over you. And when all else fails, talk to yourself. Just say, here I am, in the present moment. Describe your surroundings, and that will come checked in. And here are 10 quick ways that you can become more mindful by paying more attention. Again, mindfulness is getting into the moment. Start noticing things. Writers and artists are masters at noticing details and quirks that others don't. But it's all there. We can all see it. Here are some quick ways that you can do it. Notice the eye color of every person you interact with. Most people are too busy looking at their computer screens or they lack the self-confidence to make eye contact. Every time you see someone, what color are their eyes? Count the foreheads and wrinkles someone has on their brow or forehead or on their face. Watch a person smile. Look at the way the face moves. Look at the person's shoulders. Do they slump? Do they protrude forward? You can also look at a palm reading chart. Read your own palm. Does that seem kooky? It doesn't really matter. It's not about the magic. It's just about noticing things. You can also sit in a coffee shop for an hour. Count the number of people who come in. Pay attention to their age, race, gender. Try estimating how many customers the cafe has on a good day. Pay attention to the size and shape of each word when you read something. Ask yourself how many words a paragraph contains. The answer doesn't matter. You just begin becoming more immersive and checked in. Get out a stopwatch. Count the number of breaths you take in a minute. This also will help you become more mindful of your breathing. You can also pick up your favorite book or check out your favorite website and count the number of words in each sentence. That may seem boring, and I'm not saying count the whole page, but just try to pick up the cadence of the pace. Is there a pattern? Notice it. Wherever you are, look at how many colors you can see. If I'm writing something in Word, I see a bunch of clutter. Really, I see red and blue. And then I start to understand it. It's not very intuitive, and it doesn't really make much sense. But I notice things that I never noticed before. There's nothing special about those little 10 tricks. Make your own list, but the idea is that mindful people notice what others don't. And when you notice the details that others miss, you become more interesting because visionaries see what others don't see. Chapter 4. Mindset is a mood. How to control your state. State is a concept a lot like Frank. We've heard people talk about having the right state of mind, but no one ever really explained what that meant. What does it even mean to talk about your state? Well, what is your state? It's your mood, your emotions, or how you feel in the present moment. It's like an emotion. The way we treat state is a bit contradictory. On the one hand, we were told as children, learn to control your emotions. But other than perhaps counting backwards from 10, we were never told how. It was just something we were kind of told as passive. You feel a certain way, you do a certain thing. If you feel good, you have a good day. If you feel bad, you have a bad day. If you don't feel right, you're mean to people. If you do feel right, you're nice to people. Again, it's been very passive because no one taught us how to actually change our state. We've even heard this expression or maybe said it to ourselves. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Or that's just a recognition that it's going to be one of those days where nothing seems to go right. It's recognizing something about your state though. You're approaching your state with passivity and not being active. But we want to change that. The gorilla mindset shift is, I'm going to take an active approach to managing my state. How to manage and change your state. The original exercises for state control came from a groundbreaking book called NLP, the New Technology of Achievement. Since then, many people such as Tony Robbins have adopted and modified these exercises. I do it a little bit differently. To change your state, you must first use the mindfulness techniques we talked about earlier. You want to check in. Ask yourself, what is your default state? How do you feel generally? Right now, in the present moment, how do you feel? For example, my default state is a bit stoic. I just sort of don't get bothered by things that other people are bothered by. But there's a problem with that. I don't feel great happiness a lot of times either, because I'm very, again, stoic. Stoic is a double-edged sword. You don't feel the lows that others feel, but you also don't feel a lot of highs. Well, what is your default state? How does that work, and how does it make other people perceive you? Another downfall of my default state is I can sometimes feel seem weak because I just sort of go with the flow. But going with the flow isn't because I'm weak or because I don't have preferences, but it's because a lot of things people worry about, such as where do you want to eat lunch, just aren't that important with me, and I just don't care. So oftentimes people can view me as being passive when I'm really not. I just don't care about some things. What's your default state? Again, it could be optimistic, it could be negative, it could be in between, or it could be more resourceful. We all tend to have one, and what you want to do is check in. Don't judge it, don't say it's the wrong state, just figure it out. How do you generally feel? 4 steps to mastering state control. This exercise might seem a little weird, it might seem a little mystical, it might be a little touchy-feeling, but you now understand that you do have a default state. You do understand that you do feel a certain way, so why can't you change the way you feel? Your body and mind are connected, and your emotions are influenced both by your thinking and by how your body feels. So just think of this as like an acting class. To get into a role, an actor has to trick himself into believing he thinks, feels, and acts differently. The same principles apply here. So to perform the state control exercises, it's essentially you're alone in a place where you feel comfortable, because you're going to have to let loose and you're going to have to get a little weird. This is a private moment with yourself. Do not be around other people. Do not judge yourself. Mastering your state requires you to be honest with yourself, to dig deep, and to be comfortable letting go. Unfortunately, most people never master state because they just feel a little weird. Get weird, be by yourself. So we're going to talk about each of the 4 steps in detail. But the 4 steps are: 1. Get into a room by yourself. 2. Feel the emotions inside of your body. 3. Create a sphere of emotional space. And 4. Reinforce the new state. Step 1. To find yourself, go be alone. Go somewhere where you will not be distracted for at least 30 minutes. Do not bring anything into the room with you. Turn off the television, your smartphone, and any other distractions. It's important that you have time to yourself away from anything else. Now, we're going to get a little bit weird, but it's okay. First, you're going to talk to yourself. Then again, we've already talked about mindfulness and self-talk and framing, so you know talking to yourself isn't that weird. The purpose of talking to yourself is to rewire your default state. Your default state is what they call home base. It's what you feel when you're not trying to feel a certain way. It's just kind of how you naturally feel without any additional effort. We want to change your default state from a negative one to a positive one. So when you're by yourself, you begin by saying to yourself, I'm setting my home base. My home base and my default state is going to be one of empowerment, resourcefulness, and invincibility. Then again, you may want to feel an entirely different way, and if so, that's fine. You can modify these exercises. What matters most is you are taking control and deciding what your home base will be, instead of just treating your emotions, feelings, and moods as something that happens to you. To me, invincibility just means you can't be defeated as long as you don't quit. It doesn't mean you always win, it just means you're not going to lose because you're not going to quit. Resourcefulness believes meaning you have the abilities and resources to solve any of life's problems. To change your default state, you must return to your mind when you felt invincible, powerful, and resourceful. That's the key. Was there ever a time in your life when you felt on top of the world? It could be big, it could be small. Maybe one that's starting you as a kid, or maybe you had some success as an athlete. It doesn't matter if it was a so-called high level or a so-called low level. This is about how you feel. Maybe it's just when you overcome a difficult situation. Maybe you got over being broken up with, or maybe you just found the courage to ask someone on a date. It doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter if other people think it's a big deal. It matters that your body feels good about yourself, because that is what you want to do. You want to feel that way all the time. Step 2, feel the emotions inside of your body. After you've returned to that moment of triumph, be mindful of what happens to your body. Become aware. Check in. How do you feel? Is your skin tingling? Do you feel a rush of blood to your cheeks and arms? Everybody's body is going to react a little bit differently to the state control exercise, and that's okay. For example, I feel blood flow and energy in my forearms. Others feel these exercises in their legs, shoulders, chest, and even cheeks. There's no wrong place to feel the energy. What matters is you're becoming aware of this energy and where it happens in your body. Pay attention to what's happening to your body and to your mind. As you monitor your body, you're also creating a new biofeedback loop between your emotional state and your physical state. You can return to your mental power by learning how to recreate those feelings of physical power. Since I feel energy in my forearms doing the state control exercise, I will shake my forearms when I'm in a bad mood. Getting extra blood flowing to my arms improves my mood. Why? I don't know, but it does. This stuff may sound weird, but it really does work, and that's why you have to do the exercises. So if I feel like I'm losing confidence, I gesticulate my arms. I move my arms back and forth, and then I feel my state of resourcefulness return to me. As you become more in touch with the connection between your body and your mind, you will also be able to trigger emotions inside your mind by moving your body. Step 3, create your sphere of emotional space. Now that you know how to capture the feelings of power in your body, you want to imagine that you are creating this power around yourself. So before you end this exercise, close your eyes. Start to breathe deeply. As you breathe deeply with your eyes closed, imagine an orb of energy surrounding you. This is your sphere of power. And yes, it sounds weird, but yes, it really works. Imagine this orb or force field is surrounding your body, protecting you from all the negative influences and emotions of the outside world. I actually imagine having a cartoon-like bubble or force field around me. This bubble is a metaphor for your personal space. We all have a sense of personal space, which is generally about 18 inches from your face. When a person physically invades our personal space, we feel threatened. But what about emotional space? Shouldn't it be equally important to create emotional space? That's all this orb is. It's a metaphor. It's emotional space. When you create this orb of emotional space, what you're doing is creating a safe place. Even if you're surrounded by chaos or negative energy, you're going to feel invulnerable and you're going to feel resourceful. Step 4, reinforce your newfound state. Once you've gone into the room, you've been alone, you've dug deep into yourself, you've learned how to recreate these feelings in your body, you have to reinforce it. This is like brushing your teeth or going to the gym. It isn't something you do once and then have it. It's something that you have to do frequently. It's a habit, and as you do it more often, then you can change it. It does become easier. At first this is weird and it's awkward, but after a while it's something that you can channel in just a few seconds. You have to view yourself as a star athlete. They practice, and you have to practice for life. When starting off, it's helpful to perform the state control exercises several times a day. As you get better at it and as your confidence increases, you can reduce it and just do it a couple of times a week. The state control worksheet. Fill this out. Again, it's going to reinforce everything you've learned. Think back to a time when you felt on top of the world. Write out the experience in as much detail as you can. If you're stuck, just think about the who, what, when, where, and why of the situation. Again, write it all out. Next, describe how you felt when you were on top of the world. Did you feel powerful, confident, resourceful, invincible, or happy? There's no right or wrong answer here. This is about how you felt. Write it out, again, in as much detail. Now, as you imagine this feeling, describe what happens to your body. Do you feel increased blood flow to a certain part of your body? Do you perhaps stand or sit with a different posture? Does your chin lift up? Write it out. How can you move your body to recapture the powerful emotion that you just felt? For example, I move my arms out away from my body. This triggers powerful feelings within myself. What do you do? Again, journal this feeling. Also, feel free to add anything else you want to put in. Write it out. This is your worksheet. This is your journal. This is your life. State control habits. There are a few, again, small habits or mindset shifts that you can do to reinforce your state. You always want to remind yourself that how you feel is a choice. It is a choice. Remind yourself that how I feel is a choice I make in the present moment. Do not passively accept whatever emotional state happens to affect your body. Mood is active, not passive. You want to capture and recreate the moment. We all have good days and we all have challenging days. When you're feeling especially good, resourceful, or confident, capture the moment. Stop. Reflect. Track where in your body you have the feeling. Recreate this feeling later on when you're having a blah day. How do you recreate it again? We just talked about that with those exercises. Next, you want to find an outlet. Find a release valve for yourself. A lot of times we have negative energy in our body and we don't know what to do with it. We yell at people, we scream at people, but don't shout at people, don't mistreat people, find some kind of outlet. For me, going to the gym or riding is an outlet. A lot of times I'll just write nasty emails to people, but I never send them and I feel better. There's nothing wrong with needing an outlet. Find that outlet. Don't use other people to take out the energy on. Finally, continue performing the state control exercises. You're not going to master anything, let alone our emotions, after reading a few pages in a book. You must practice continually because our emotions are a challenge. Indeed, most people never master them. But you will master your emotions, and you now know how to, and you now have the tools. Chapter 5. Mindset is Focus. How to take back control of your attention. We live in an ADHD society where the demands on our time and consciousness are endless. Employers expect us to be on the clock 24/7. Spouses, family, and friends demand attention too. We're also bombarded with advertisements, PSA threat levels, and negative messages from the evening or online news. But our loss of focus can have disastrous consequences. Most work-related accidents are due to inattention. The home is actually the most dangerous place in the world, as data shows that you're most likely to die at home than anywhere else. Sure, a lot of this has to do with how much time we spend at home, but a lack of attention plays a major role in household accidents. Inattention can have very sad and very tragic consequences. I've changed some names to protect the family's privacy, but this happens more often than you think. John Smith was on his way to work, and it was a day like any other day. He loaded up his car, hopped in, and began his morning commute. He arrived at work just like any other day. He went to the office, talked to colleagues, sat at his desk. After putting in a full day of work, he went to his car. Sheer terror overwhelmed his body. He had forgotten his child in the car. Rather than drop his child off at daycare, he left his baby in the car and the child died of dehydration. This is not hypothetical. Every year it happens. Around 30 to 50 children die after being left inside of cars. Now these parents love their children. It's an accident. John Smith, like every other parent, had thousands of thoughts running around in his mind. He was thinking about packing food for his child, packing his own lunch, vaccinations, records, and so many other different things. And like most working parents, he was sleep deprived. You must get back your attention. Focus on the essentials. Get into the moment. Do not run on autopilot or become an automaton. Otherwise, you can have disaster in your life. How can we regain our focus? I kind of have a humorous story about this. Less tragic, but it's still very frustrating. I ran into a friend of mine and I said, "How was your trip to Croatia?" I knew that he had a big trip planned and he was going with another one of my friends and I wanted to hear what happened. "He never went," he answered. I couldn't believe it. He was so excited for that trip. We were, but Tony forgot to renew his passport. Now, some may say Tony was irresponsible for not renewing his passport, but I would say he was unfocused. Tony wasn't focused on what he absolutely 100% needed for his vacation. Like most of us, he was focused in 1,000 different directions, which is another way of saying he wasn't focused on anything at all. In planning a vacation, there are a lot of issues to worry about, and it's easy to lose focus. Think about the last time that you planned a vacation. All of this and more, especially if you're traveling with children, went through your head. Did I put my vacation time in? Is now a good time to leave? What's going to happen to the project I was working on? What am I going to wear? Is it cold? Should I pack a raincoat? How many bags do I need to pack? What about this utility bill? What if somebody doesn't feed my cat? Do I have enough money? Can I afford this? And on and on and on. And while you certainly don't want your cat to starve, it's easy to find someone to feed your cat. You can still get on your flight if you forget to pay your utility bill, but you can't get on the flight unless you have a passport, and that happens so often. And that's the mistake that we make, is we focus on 1,000 different things instead of what must you absolutely have. What do you absolutely need? So what I do is before I leave, I always make sure that my passport, wallet, and cell phone are in the pants that I'm going to wear the next day, and I set them out. Because no matter what happens, I'll be able to still take my trip. So that's just a metaphor for life. Focus on what is actually essential. Yes, details matter. Yes, not essential details can become a very big deal if you neglect them. But you have to focus on what matters first. Set aside what you absolutely, positively, 100% must do before you worry about anything else. Then you worry about the little things. That's all life is. What really matters in your life, focus on that before you worry about any of the other details. Now that you know that you need to focus, the question is, what should you do when you feel distracted or you feel losing focus? Well, as you know by now anyway, all these gorilla mindset concepts tie together. When you feel distracted, engage in self-talk. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on? Return to the present moment. What do you need to accomplish? Check into what you need and check out of what you do not need. Again, talking to yourself is such a big help. For example, right now, well, I'm in the recording studio right now, but when I wrote this book, I was on an airplane to Hanoi for a short vacation. I was writing this chapter, and then I got distracted. I started thinking about marketing. I started thinking about this. I started thinking about that. But then I wasn't even writing because my mind was going in so many different directions. So I used self-talk. I returned to the present moment. I talked about where I was. I talked about my fingers, and I said my fingers are connecting with keys. That is what I said, self-talk. My fingers are connecting with keys and words are appearing on the screen. Sentences are appearing, word by word. I didn't even know what I was writing, but the words came out because I was checking and I was mindful. The next thing you can do is change your focus. We often go from a state of inattention to hyper-focusing on trivial bullshit. Change your focus. How many times do you say, my Wi-Fi won't work? Where's my food? Why is this taking so long? And we get so angry, but we focus on things that they don't even really matter. But you want to check in. What are you focusing on? Well, you're focusing on negative emotions. What happens when you focus on negative emotions? What happens to your body? Well, you get angry. What happens when you get angry? You're now moving farther away from feeling good and from feeling strong. That's again because you're focused on it. This ties also into the framing chapter. Remember, as we said earlier from Tony Robbins, what you focus on is what you feel. If you focus on what's lacking in your immediate moment, that's a scarcity mindset. Focus on what you have and where you are. That's the abundance mindset. You're not going to feel frenzied. You're not going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel empowered. Focus, again, works both ways. You can focus on what matters. You can focus on what doesn't matter. You can focus on what feels rich. You can focus on what feels poor. But remember to check in. Ask yourself, if you're focusing on something, why am I focusing on this? Why am I focusing on the triviality? Why am I focusing on distraction? Why am I focusing on negative things? Your focus brings you closer to what you want, and what you want is to feel good about yourself. So focus on those things. Focus on your goals. In Pumping Iron, a documentary about bodybuilding icon and Hollywood legend Arnold Schwarzenegger, we saw the power of focus. Arnold was focusing on an upcoming bodybuilding competition, and he was asked, how do you feel good? How do you not get frustrated? And how do you not get upset? He said, all I focus on is the competition and my goals. He used an example. If my car gets broken into or stolen, I just call the insurance company. I don't even care. It's not even an issue. Now, most of us would be angry if we went outside and our car was gone. What if we allowed our emotions to overtake us? What would happen to us? It would add stress to our lives and it would make us less focused on what we need to do. It would drain us. Is it worth it? Is losing vital, emotional, physical, and life force worth it? Is losing our temper worth it? Arnold refused to let any distraction get in the way of his goals, and as a result, he's lived the lives other men dreamed of. It's easy to become distracted and feel angry. The way to overcome this is by checking in constantly, engaging in empowering and helpful self-talk, and returning your focus to what really matters. Again, use that self-talk to keep yourself accountable, change your framing, and change your focus. We've talked a lot about our focus, and our focus is our attention, which we understand. But again, we want to talk about how can we improve it. What is it about our focus, and how can we make it more concentrated? How can we really zero in on things? Well, in a way, you have to become a little ruthless. You have to be a little bit ruthless because you have to cut out anything that doesn't bring you closer to your goals. So here are 4 questions to answer to develop better focus. 1. What do you want more of? 2. What do you want less of? 3. Does the person or activity you're engaging in bring you more of what you want? 4. Does the person or activity bring you less of what you want? Remember, we're the sum totals of our activities and the people we surround ourselves with. Because we are the sum total of the people and activities we engage in, we have to be conscious and mindful of who we spend our time with. Are the people you're spending your time with bringing you closer to your goals? Are they leading to more happiness and fulfillment in your life? Are the activities you engage in bringing you closer to your goals? A lot of times we're just mindless and we don't think about it, and we waste a lot of time, or we let people take advantage of us, and that has to stop. Because focus has to be ruthless. You have to cut out everything that doesn't bring you closer to your goals. And what is a goal anyway? A goal is just a positive outcome you desire in your life. For example, you don't set a goal to die in a car crash. You set some goal because you believe achieving that goal or engaging in a process and route to the goal will have a positive outcome in your life. But what positive outcome do you desire? Could be anything. Happiness, financial freedom, more free time, healthier body, better fitness, more travel. Determine what you want. Write it out. Really think about it. And then ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now bringing me closer to my goal, or is it bringing me further away from my goal? Ask yourself, are the people I'm spending my time with bringing me further to my goal or closer to my goal? Always look, are you actually getting closer to your goal by hanging out with the people you're with, or by doing the things that you're doing? To develop good focus too, you also want to know what you want less of. We all want less of negative outcomes. Negative outcomes include depression, stress, anger, anxiety, sickness, disease, jealousy, outrage. Whatever you want less of, you have to know. Ask yourself, what do you want less of? And then ask yourself, are what you're doing going to give you more of that or less of that? For example, if you want to feel less angry, Why do you read the news? Or why do you watch TV? More often than not, the news is just there to instill fear, shock, and outrage. I don't watch TV other than an occasional show on HBO, and I don't watch the news. So you want to ask these questions to decide, is what you're doing bringing you closer to what you want? Maybe what you're doing is actually bringing more of what you don't want, but you weren't aware of. A lot of times, for example, I don't want more stress. But to get stress, you get money, right? Money and stress is so tied together. So a lot of times I have to ask myself, is this money worth this stress? Is this money worth this headache? Now maybe it is and maybe it isn't. Sometimes it is or sometimes it isn't. But I'm at least aware of it and I'm mindful of it. So then what happens is that if I feel a little stressed out, I'm saying, well, I needed the money, so it's okay, and then I'm better able to cope with the stress. So what you need to do to develop this focus, conduct an inventory of everyone in your life, and conduct an inventory of everything you do in your life. Ask yourself, are you getting more of what you want, or are you getting less of what you want? And you know, sometimes you have to cut people out of your life, and that may seem cruel or indeed ruthless, but it's your life, and that's what it takes to succeed. Now, as you become more focused on what you want out of life, here's what you're going to hear. Is focusing on what you want in life selfish? Once you start focusing on your goals, here's what you're going to hear. You're being so selfish. But is that really true? Are you being selfish? And is it right for people to call you selfish? I'm, for example, a pretty low-key guy. I don't really ask people for much. Usually it's people who are trying to get me to do something for them, or they try to guilt trip me. Or a lot of times people just frankly try to con me into doing something, and they give me false pretenses for the job. I just say no, and then they act like it's so immoral. They say, Mike is so selfish. Why are you so selfish? So by saying no, I'm not being selfish. I'm not compelling anyone to do anything. I'm not imposing my will on anyone. I'm just saying, no, I just want to be left alone. When people insist you do what they want, they are controlling their own lives and your life. They are the most selfish people of all. So what you may learn when you develop stronger focus is that many people in your life aren't very good friends and they're not very good family members, and that they need to step up their game if they're going to be in your life. So ask yourself, do you want them to remain in your life? If so, why? Come up with a reason. If they're going to bring you more negative outcomes and fewer positive outcomes, is there a reason to leave them in your life? I don't think so. On the plus side, though, if you develop more focus, you're going to find a higher caliber of people who love you for who you are. True friends want to see you succeed. They want what is best for you. If people call you selfish, and that's because they want to control your life and their best out of your life. Your Gorilla Focus worksheet. Remember, to regain our focus, you have to determine what it is we want, who we want in our lives. You need to write this out. You need to answer these questions. 1. What do you want more of? Write it out. Could be anything. It could be freedom. It could be money. It could be free time. It could be relationships. Whatever it is, write it out. And then write out, what do you want less of? Again, those are usually negative things. We don't want stress. We don't want anxiety. We don't want panic. Next question. Does the person, put the name in there, right? Does so-and-so bring you more of what you want? Then, does the activity bring you more of what you want? Does how you spend your time getting you more of what you want? And then the next question is, does the person actually bring you less of what you want? Because a lot of people, they cause stress in our lives, and if you want less stress, maybe you need to do something about that person. And the same is true of activities. A lot of people, they don't want to feel anger, and then they watch the news and they say, I can't believe what I saw on TV. Well, that's inconsistent. So ask yourself, is that activity bringing you more of what you want or less of what you want? Fill out the worksheet, answer those questions, and that will improve your focus. These are some Gorilla Focus habits that will improve your habits. 1. Turn your cell phone off at the gym. When I'm at the gym, I don't have my cell phone on. That's time to live off the grid. 2. Turn your cell phone off when you're playing with your children. They're the most important people in your life, and mindlessly checking email and be distracted is something they will notice and they'll remember. Turn it off. You don't have to turn it off all day, but give people some undivided attention. That's how they feel loved, and that's how they feel special. You also want to do not ever eat in front of the television. When you eat, you're not focused on anything. When you eat, you want to focus on your food. If you're eating in front of the television, you're kind of watching TV, kind of eating. And studies have shown you tend to overeat by up to 25 to 50%. Again, it's because you're being mindless. You also want to pick one task to accomplish at a time. Yeah, the world is busy and we're frenzied, but you can't actually work on more than one task at a time. People say be a multitasker. It's actually not true. We tend to switch from one task to another, but whenever we switch tasks, we lose flow. Pick one thing to accomplish and do it one thing at a time. Also, recognize that focus is either or. Again, we're not task multitaskers, we are task switchers. You're focused on one thing or you're focused on another thing. Remember that. You also want to use self-talk. Ask yourself, what are you focusing on? Right now, what am I focusing on? Why am I focusing on this? Is focusing on this issue or this person or this idea, is it bringing me closer to my goals or is it bringing me further away from my goals? Again, you can see how it's all tied together. Self-talk, mindfulness, focus. Everything is together. Also mood. If you focus on the wrong things, your state is going to change and you're going to feel worse. Also remember that your focus is finite. Our human willpower and ability to focus is limited. I have a chapter coming up on this actually. So avoid depleting your focus by wasting it on negative energy or toxic people. Organize your life to maximize your focus. Also focus on good health. Mind, body, they're all related. Your focus requires brain power. It requires good nutrition. Finally, focus on what matters most in your life. By taking inventory of your life as you did with that worksheet, you develop that focus and then you understand who or what you want in your life. Focus on those people and those activities, and that's how you develop focus. We're now going to move on to part 2 of the book. If you look at Gorilla Mindset, you can kind of see it as 2 different parts. The first part was directly the mindset exercises that you can do, how you can change your mindset. But now we have to look at how your lifestyle affects your mindset, how your health and fitness and everything else is tied to your mindset. So this is chapter 6. Mindset is lifestyle. Change the way you live. Well, you now understand the power of mindset, and you have the habits and skills you need that will change the way you look, think, and feel. These shifts are going to have a major impact on your life, but you have to make another Gorilla Mindset shift. Your lifestyle and your mindset are linked. What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is just a set of behaviors and behavioral orientations. It's essentially how you live your life. It's what you do on a day-to-day basis. Lifestyle is what you eat, it's what you drink, it's who you hang out with, it's what you read, it's what you write, it's what you watch, it's everything that you do during the day. So the reason these are connected is because, ask yourself, is it easier or harder to control your emotions if you've had a good night's sleep? Are you more or less able to check into the present moment when your smartphone isn't zapping at you every second? Are you more likely to feel an attitude of gratitude when you're around warm, kind, and generous people? So a lot of times we think of mindset defensively. I give you a bunch of exercises and I sometimes don't like the tone. It isn't to say, okay, we just want to overcome obstacles. We want to get over depression. We want to take it to the next level. Now we're not talking about just getting over stuff. Now we're talking about how you can take your life to the next level and how you can elevate things. So again, use those exercises that we talked about, not just defensively, not just to ward off negative thoughts and negative emotions. Now we want to think about how can you change your life and modify your life so that everything gets better. If the only message you took away from Gorilla Mindset is that you need to cut out negative people and negative activities and spiritual vampires from your life, then this book would be a success. So there are a lot of ways that you can improve your mindset by improving your lifestyle, and a lot of it is avoiding drama, it's avoiding negative situations, it's avoiding draining people. We want you to start choosing to engage in life-affirming activities with positive, helpful people. Here are a few tips and some things that you can do. One, and this is going to be the hardest part, is you must cut off contact with negative people, even negative family members. Remember, your lifestyle has an effect on your mindset. The way you live includes the people you hang out with. And the more people you have in your life, the more stress you're going to have. But if you have a higher quality of people in your life, you're going to have more fulfillment. You're going to feel more generosity. You're not going to feel like you're taken advantage of because the people in your life are going to want to better you and help you. So instead of using Gorilla Mindset techniques defensively, that is, you're dealing with drama and family hassle and your friends and everybody else, you just get around the right people and you use them offensively. You don't think, well, I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to change my state to be in a good mood. You think, I'm in a good mood and I'm going to be in an awesome mood. You don't think, well, I'm kind of depressed, I want to not be depressed. You start to think, I want to feel amazing. But you have to make these lifestyle changes. Another tip is just start saying no to everything. Chances are you are already too busy. You need to put work in on yourself. You don't have the time right now to allow others to impose their demands and their egos upon you. Some advice is just for the next 4 weeks, say no to everything and everyone. I know that goes against what you're told. You have to say yes, you have to be a people pleaser. Just try it out. For the next 4 weeks, commit to yourself. Say no to everything. Will you this? No. Will you that? No. If people really want it done, well, they come talk to you in a month. There's nothing they can't wait for a month. Now's the time to put commitment into yourself. And another tip, too, is if you are going to say yes to things, never make a promise when you're in a good mood, because you might not be in a good mood later on, and you might regret making that decision. Another habit, and this is a very important lifestyle habit, that's absolutely going to impact your mindset. Sleep as much as you can. Make this gorilla mindset shift. There's nothing cool about powering through sleep deprivation. There's nothing cool about saying, oh, I only sleep 4 hours a night, and I drink a lot of caffeine. It isn't cool. It doesn't make you tough. It affects your body. It affects your long-term memory. It affects your health. It makes it harder to lose weight. It makes it harder to keep your concentration. Get over that whole idea that you should be sleep deprived. Now, I know that we're busy. A lot of people have children. We have to do what we have to do. But get as much sleep as you possibly can. There are a few tips that you can use, and one is get white noise or something to sleep to. I also run a fan. I get hot at night, so I have a fan blowing on my face at night. That makes me sleep well. You can also get a humidifier next to your bed, especially when it's very dry out. Right now I live in a very humid climate, so I don't have that problem. But when it's drier out and you have a cool mist breathing in your face, it feels amazing. Also, you spend a third of your life in bed. Have you thought about how much money you spend on your bed? Do you have the best quality mattress that you can afford? I don't have a relationship with the Tempur-Pedic people. I'm not trying to get you to buy something because they pay me. But I have a Tempur-Pedic mattress topper, and it has been an absolute game changer. You can get a 4-inch memory foam mattress topper that will completely change how you sleep. There are other things you can do like wear an eye mask, and there are other articles on sleep. I can't tell you everything about sleep other than start thinking consciously about it. How can you get better sleep? Especially buy a better bed. That'll be a big help. Your health and fitness is also going to have a major impact on your mindset. We have a whole chapter on health and fitness with a lot of tips. While I can't give you a total dietary makeover, I can tell you a few things, and again, we'll talk about that later. One tip, though, about your health and fitness that a lot of us take for granted: sitting is deadly. The more you sit, the earlier you die. Study after study has shown that. Try to stand up as often as you can. Moreover, when you sit more than an hour at a time, your body doesn't burn fat. Something weird happens. Our body just kind of shuts down. Try not to ever sit longer than an hour if possible. I try to get up about every half hour at least stretch. You also want to do those posture exercises. And again, there's a section on posture. We're going to talk much more about this. You also want to stay hydrated. My goal is to take 8 trips to the bathroom a day. And I always want clear urine. That tells my body that it's clean and it's functioning well. Another tip is turn off electronic devices for as long as you can afford to. Again, I know we're busy. I know there are demands. I can't tell you never have your phone on you, you're Mr. Important, and you can just turn it off. But whenever you can, put that thing away. Turn off all those devices. Don't have any distractions. Just think about yourself and what you want in your life. One thing that I do is I do not have my phone on me at all at the gym. If I ever do have it on me to listen to music, I put it in airplane mode. And that means that I'm not on my phone at all when I'm commuting or in the gym. There's 2 hours a day where I'm totally disconnected and I'm just focused on being in the moment. That has been a big game changer for my mood and for my mindset. And another quick sort of physical tip is do something physical every day. You can't always hit the gym. I know we're busy. Do a few push-ups. Maybe even just take a short walk, or getting a massage is actually a good physical thing you can do. Another way to modify your lifestyle in a way that's going to impact your mindset powerfully is you want to establish a morning routine. Some people call it a morning ritual. Think about the usual morning routine. This is the one I had and a lot of us had until you really start thinking about it. Alarm goes off. You wake up. You hit the snooze button. You hit the snooze button. Hit it again. You lay in bed, you kind of lean over and you look at your email or you look at the internet. You rub your eyes, you think you're tired. Maybe you make some coffee. Maybe you take a shower. Most of us get defeated before we even get out of bed. Stay up too late and we're exhausted. We want to change that. We want to establish a positive life from your morning routine. Here's how you can do that. Think of yourself and make this a real mindset shift. You're an elite athlete in the game of life who must properly warm up for an intense and inspirational competition. That's how I think of myself. Every day I get up, I'm not just another day, another dollar. God, what am I going to do today? I just think, okay, man, life is serious. Every day you wake up, it could be a big day. You could meet the woman of your dreams. You could have a huge business opportunity. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you're not warmed up and you don't treat life seriously, are you going to be ready when that opportunity comes? Remember what they say about luck. Preparation is opportunity. You have to prepare right when you get up. So I have a whole routine that you can do. But here are the 4 quick principles. One is just don't press the snooze button. We know you're tired. Everyone's tired first thing in the morning. That's why it's called the first thing in the morning. Just don't press it. 2, if you feel like you're about to fall asleep, just jump right out of bed. That's the best way to do it. One trick too is take your phone, put it far away from where you sleep. When your alarm gets up, when your alarm goes off, you have to get up, turn it off. Get out of bed, stay out of bed. 3, rush into the shower. Again, if you're going to fall asleep, you need to take a contrast shower or a cold shower. And I'll tell you how to do that. Finally, perform this mindset-shifting brain warm-up. A powerful way to start your day is with a cold shower or a contrast shower. Now, some people prefer cold showers and some people prefer contrast showers. I'm going to talk about both of those. Cold showers have been around for centuries. Spartan warriors used to take a cold shower every day and it jolted them into reality. The cold showers, they kind of fell out of favor, but they become more popular with a writer called Victor Pride, who has a website called Bold and Determined, and another book called 30 Days of Discipline. He's a big advocate of cold showers and he helped kind of repopularize the concept. Cold shower has a lot of benefits, and a lot of this has been studied. You can look that up for yourself. It might raise testosterone levels, it can lower cortisol levels, it does boost your immune system, and it absolutely increases your mental toughness. So you have to go in there and just let the cold water hit you. Cold showers also work as kind of a form of cardio, as you're quickly going to find your heart's going to pump to warm your limbs. What happens is that when your body gets cold, the blood changes. Your body wants to protect itself, right? So it's going to pump harder and pump more blood to try to keep you warm. Cold showers have also been used to treat mild symptoms of depression. Some people think it could help with chronic fatigue syndrome. At the very least, the cold shower will wake you up. Cold showers will wake you up, for sure. You're going to be jolted into reality real quick. If you feel tired, hop into a cold shower. You're not going to want to jump into bed. Cold showers also don't dry your skin. So a lot of people notice when they start taking them, their skin is softer, it's more hydrated, their hair even feels a little better. Now, how do you take cold showers? I'm not going to say, well, cold showers, you jump in the cold water, you're weak, go do it, how can you be so pathetic? It's a little hard at first. Some people just jump right in and rush right in. There's a better way to do it and an easier way to do it. Start off by just running cold water on your arms and legs. Just get the water, again, cold on your arms, cold on your legs, then put your head and chest under the cold water. That's how you transition and to start taking cold showers. Now I can just jump into cold showers, no problem, very easy. But when I first started off, again, go with your limbs. If you can get one of those removable shower heads, the removable shower head allows you to easily just spread the cold water on your legs and then work your way back up. You can also take a contrast shower, which is what I prefer. The contrast shower has been used again by athletes to help them recover from hard workouts. The contrast shower also gets lymphatic fluid going because it improves blood circulation and lymph fluid flow. Here's the way you do it. When you get into the shower, start off by running warm to hot water. Some people take the water as hot as they possibly can without scalding themselves. This is your decision to make. You run the hot water over your body for about 30 to 60 seconds. Then, turn the water all the way to cold. The first couple seconds, the water actually won't feel cold because you were just hot and everything is about contrast. Then, you get the cold water on you. After about another 30 to 60 seconds, switch back to warm water, then switch back to cold, then switch back to warm, and finally finish with cold. You can do that back and forth, warm to hot or cold to hot as often as you want. I usually do about 3 to 5 sets, it's about 30 to 60 seconds each. But remember, you want to finish with the cold water. You're going to feel invigorated. Once you do that, you're going to feel great. So again, cold showers or a contrast shower is a great way to start your day. It will improve your mindset, it will make you mentally stronger, and it will make you more alert. Either while you're in the shower or after the shower, before the shower, whatever works best for you, perform this brain warm-up. Now this brain warm-up puts me in a weird position. I read this warm-up years ago, and it was a book written by John McEnroe, a sports psychologist. John McEnroe was a tennis player who was very famous for being a hothead. Well, I can't find the book. I want to give whoever wrote this credit. So if you know who wrote this, let me know so I can totally link to this person. One thing I don't ever believe we should do is, I don't think we should ever take some of these ideas without giving them credit. So I'm going to give credit where it's due. John McEnroe, a sports psychologist, kind of came up with this. I modified it a little bit. But again, if you find the book, let me know. With that said, here's the warm-up. 1 is you count backwards from 100. Speed is key. Don't stop if you skip a number. You're not trying to get everything 100% right when you're doing this warm-up. You just want to get your brain going. And given you just woke up, you'd likely skip a number. No big deal. 2. Find a noun that fits each letter of the alphabet. What is a noun? Person, place, thing, or idea. Don't just think of the object, though. Imagine the colors and shapes and try to see it in 3 dimensions in your head. This is going to activate your right brain because you get your colors, your images, and your shapes going on, and your left brain, which is your verbal fluency. It also makes you a better writer and it makes you more fluent. You get brain crosstalk going. So what I mean by that is you would say, A, apple, right? Apples are nouns, red, brown. B, boy. C, cranberries. Could be anything. D, etc. Do that all the way A through Z. Next, create a numbered list of female names, 1 through 10. Say the number and letter out to yourself out loud. For example, 1, Lisa, 2, Tina, 3, Sherry, 4, etc. Now for step 4, you want to do the same thing as above, except with male names. As with the female names above, say the number and letter to yourself or out loud, it doesn't matter. So 1, Edward, 2, Tom, 3, Bob, etc. After doing that, finally, close your eyes and deep meditative breaths. As you breathe, focus on oxygenating your brain. You should feel the blood vessels and capillaries surrounding your brain start to expand. Then open your eyes and start your day. You're now prepared to start your day. Now, does that seem like a lot of work? Perhaps, although it only takes 5 to 15 minutes to do all that, cold shower, the temperature shower, the warm-up, it seems like a lot of work to people. But remember that gorilla mindset shift. My day is a serious athletic endeavor that requires me to actively warm up my body and mind. And some days you're going to wake up and you're going to think, I don't feel like doing it. But ask yourself, would I warm up before lifting weights or playing a pickup game of basketball? Even golfers stretch before playing 9 holes. Life is far more taxing than playing golf. It's very serious. Treat it that way. Do your warm-up. Now you're ready to start your day, but we also want to talk a little bit about willpower, so you can understand how lifestyle and your willpower are linked. Now, willpower, and I have a bonus interview with Dr. Jeremy Nicholson, who's a social psychologist. You can read the full interview at GorillaMindset.com, but I'm going to summarize it here for you. Willpower is a fascinating subject, because when we fail in life, we always say, well, I didn't have enough willpower. But what is willpower? How can we gain more willpower and make the most of what we do have? What is it all about, right? I was able to sit down with Dr. Jeremy Nicholson and we were able to talk about this. So I'm going to summarize the interview, but again, you can find the full interview at GorillaMindset.com. So I asked Dr. Jeremy, I call him Dr. Jeremy, he's a friend of mine. It says Dr. Nicholson, though, if you actually read the interview. But I said, what is willpower? And he said, well, willpower is, as opposed to like other animals like lizards, who just primarily live without any kind of understanding of the future, we have something called symbolic self-awareness. So we can imagine future behaviors and possible outcomes. You can imagine what you want to do today, what you want to do tomorrow, you can set goals. That's ultimately where willpower comes from. But as a result of this, we have the ability to improve ourselves, because we kind of bounce back and forth between our future goals and between what we're doing right now. In other words, we're able to think, here's what I want to accomplish in the future by modifying my behavior today. We're able to project this imagined future set of goals onto ourselves itself, and that's one of those unique things. And then I said, well, how do you increase your willpower? And the big takeaway here is willpower is finite. So, again, remember we talked about attention is finite, energy is finite. If you're taking willpower to overcome negativity and negative energy, so then when you want to actually achieve your goals and move on to bigger and better things, it's harder. And that's why you want to adjust your lifestyle to maximize the most of your willpower. And Dr. Jeremy, too, he has some good tips on how to make the most of your willpower, at least in terms of how to set goals. And you want to be specific, because if something is specific, it's easier to stick to because you have clear understanding. You also want to challenge yourself, because if you challenge yourself, again, that makes you want to use your willpower. If it's not easy, or if it is easy, there is no reason to use willpower, right? It doesn't really matter. You also want to do something important. It's another way to test yourself. And then you want to find out how to have feedback. How do you know when you're using your willpower, and how you don't know how you're using your willpower? How do you know if you've made it, and how do you if you don't made it? That's how you want to kind of start thinking about willpower. So you want to do self-control, staying in the moment, staying focused, and that isn't easy. But again, that's why you have to focus on a positive lifestyle. You don't want to always be using your willpower to overcome negative things. You want to use your willpower in a very strong, powerful way. Ultimately, that's the takeaway of willpower. It is finite, but you can make the most of it by changing your lifestyle and modifying it so that you're using your willpower to accomplish your goals to now overcome negative behaviors. Now you're starting to think more consciously about your lifestyle. And now what do we got? Well, of course, we got a lifestyle worksheet for you. So again, this isn't comprehensive. A lot of what we're doing is to get you to think about how to optimize your lifestyle. To optimize your lifestyle, remember, what is it? What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is what you do. It's the people you're with. It's the things you do. It's the food you eat. It's the exercise you engage in. It's even the amount of time you spend on your smartphone. So you want to ask yourself, how can you arrange your life to develop the right mindset? To answer that question, look at what you do and look at who you're hanging out with. In a way, it's tied back into the ruthless focus exercises we did earlier. How do you get that good focus? Well, you want to start asking those hard questions. Are the people I'm with making me better or worse? Are the things I'm doing making me better than worse? So one thing I suggest you do is you fill out this form and ask yourself, who creates negative energy or drama in your life? And is it possible to disengage them? You might want to write these out as kind of like affirmations. I will avoid blank, fill it in, blank and blank, because those situations drain me. That could be anything. I could avoid large social gatherings. I could avoid this or that. It doesn't matter what your answer is. What matters is that you start thinking about it. The next thing is that, what are you going to seek out to better yourself? Because we don't want to just think about this mindset stuff and this lifestyle stuff as, well, how can I avoid this bad stuff? You want to think about how can you get the great stuff, right? How can you get more out of life? So you want to ask yourself, what do you want more of? You want to say, I will seek out blank, blank, and blank. By blank, I'm just saying on the page, right? Fill in the blanks. Well, what are you going to seek out and why? Well, I would say, well, I'm going to seek out this situation because while it might be stressful, it will lead to personal growth. Again, it doesn't really matter. What you put in is yours, not mine. Just start thinking about it. What do you want more of and how are you going to get it? And it's not complete. Nothing is complete. The work isn't complete. I'm still working on myself. You're still working on yourself. So start being more conscious of what you're doing. Ask yourself, am I spending time with the right people and the right activities? You can also do these habits that will change your mindset. And a lot of these habits are kind of like mindset shifts. Again, recognize what lifestyle is. That's a habit. It might seem abstract, but just say, what is lifestyle? Remember, what is it? Tell yourself. Habit, right? Lifestyle is how I'm spending my time. How am I spending my time? I'm wasting it. That means I'm wasting my life. That means my lifestyle is based on waste. Remind yourself that. That's actually a habit. Take that cold shower, that contrast shower every morning. It will make a big difference. You want to start your day off alert. You want to be prepared. Who knows what's going to happen? You want blood pumping. Perform that brain warm-up we talked about. That's going to be a big deal. Remind yourself, you're not just a regular Joe. You're not just a schlub. You're an athlete and you have an elite event today because there is nothing more elite and nothing more challenging than life. Another habit is ask yourself if you're with the right people. Follow that ruthless focus exercise we talked about in the previous chapter. That focus exercise we did in the previous chapter could have easily just been posting your lifestyle because now you're seeing that what you focus on is what you feel, who you focus on is who you feel, and that's part of your lifestyle, right? That's how you spend your time. So, again, don't think of this stuff as all being separate. Focus is lifestyle. State is lifestyle. If you're in a good mood, right, if you're in a positive state, that's going to affect how you live your life. But if you take good care of your body, that's going to affect the state. It's going to make it easier to find that happy, optimistic state. Another thing is before bed, reflect on your previous day. But use those mindfulness activities. Don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. I was a failure. I didn't do enough. That isn't how we want to think before bed. That isn't going to do us any good. It's not going to help us grow. Those are just negative, judgmental things. Talk again about mindfulness. Now you see why everything is connected to lifestyle. You're in bed. Maybe the day didn't go the way you wanted to do it. But that self-talk isn't going to be negative. It isn't going to say, I'm such a failure. I can't believe I did that. I'm such a loser. No, you're just going to say, okay, here's what I did, step by step, and then you're going to think about tomorrow. What do you need tomorrow? What do you want to accomplish? That's going to make you sleep better because you're going to want to wake up to succeed. So again, everything is connected. All that stuff we talked about earlier, all that mindset stuff is connected to lifestyle. The way you live your life is going to affect your mindset as well. Lifestyle and mindset are one and the same. Chapter 7, Mindset is a Body, Health and Fitness. Again, lifestyle is connected to your mindset. Well, your health and fitness is connected to your lifestyle, and it's connected to your mindset. Now, while it'd be impossible to discuss everything about health and fitness here, because this isn't a book on how to get six-pack abs, it's a book on introducing yourself to the link between mindset and health and fitness. So we're going to talk about some concepts. And as you read this, or as you listen to this, just experiment, figure things out for yourself. All of this takes growth and reflection and everything else. But there are some principles to keep in mind. Every day I try to do something to maintain or improve my blood, my breath, my posture, my lymph, and my digestion. And we're going to talk about all those now. But what's blood flow? Blood flow. Blood flow and mindset are a big deal. We don't think of it that way because what is our brain? We just think of it as what? It's kind of like a blob, right? It's kind of how we tend to think of things. And it's just actually not true. Your brain is major demander of blood. It needs blood flowing to all the time, and it takes up to 25% of the blood that circulates in your body that goes to the brain. Now, how much blood is that? The heart pumps out around 2,000 gallons a day. So blood flow and mindset are important. The heart and mind are connected. In fact, a lot of research is showing that the same risk factors leading to atherosclerosis or heart disease is what leads to dementia. So they think of it as being separate. But they're not. The heart and the head are connected. So make this gorilla mindset shift. The heart and mind are connected. If something is good for your heart, it's good for your brain. So you want to improve blood flow. What do we mean by that? And blood flow is just known as endothelial function. And that refers to how your arteries dilate. Dilated arteries, they're open, they allow blood to flow freely, they move, blood pumps, it circulates, it goes all the way through your body, it goes up to your brain, everything is great. But when you don't have good endothelial function, you have a blood clot, you have a heart attack. That's all a heart attack is blood isn't flowing well throughout the body. So you want to improve blood flow to your brain, you want to improve blood flow to your heart. How do you do that? Well, weight control is a big deal, as you know by now. If you're overweight, your heart has to work harder, everything's less efficient. Good diet is important too. Exercise, especially lifting weights, is important. Vegetables, especially flavonoid-rich fruits and vegetables, improve endothelial function. Also, nitrate-containing foods like beets and beet juice improve endothelial function. They help your blood vessels. Again, you want them open, you want them dilating, you want blood pumping great. So flavonoid-rich foods include blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Citrus fruits like lemons, limes, oranges, and grapefruits. Grapes are also good. Bell peppers, onions, broccoli, and herbs are all good. They're all going to improve blood flow to your heart. They're all going to improve the heart's blood flow, which is going to improve blood flow to your brain. And there are a couple supplements you can take too that will improve endothelial function. There are a couple very inexpensive supplements that can improve blood flow, and that's again going to improve your brain. So one is aspirin. They say that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but it might be an aspirin a day keeps the doctor away. My grandfather, he had a heart attack at 65. When he went to the doctor's office, he was told that my grandmother saved his life. How did she do this? Every day she made him take an aspirin first thing in the morning. The doctor had said the aspirin had helped him. And it's true. The Mayo Clinic describes the process. You can go onto the website and learn more. But aspirin interferes with your blood's clotting action. If your blood vessels are already narrowed from atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of fatty deposits in your arteries, then a fatty deposit in your vessel lining can burst. Then a blood clot can quickly form and block the artery. Aspirin prevents blood flow, and then what that does is prevents blood flow to the heart. So aspirin can prevent all of that. But what you want to do is make sure you talk to your doctor because aspirin is contraindicated with some of the medications. As always, consult your physician. The next supplement you can use is L-arginine, which is very inexpensive over-the-counter supplement that boosts your body's nitric oxide level. That again dilates your blood vessels. Beet juice does the same thing. Beet juice isn't really a supplement, it's a food, and you can make your own juice at home, or you can buy juice at a juice bar. You can also buy beet juice that comes in a powder, and then you mix it in with water, and then you drink it down. And there have been a lot of studies dedicated to the relationship between nitric oxide and blood flow, and you can find a lot of that information again at GorillaMindset.com. But do know that improving your blood flow by using L-arginine or beet juice and aspirin will improve your thinking. It'll make you more focused and it'll make you more intelligent. Now we're going to talk about breath and mindset. Now we all know that hard aerobic or anaerobic exercise is good for us, but what does it have to do with mindset? Like, again, that's why my approach to health and fitness is a little bit different than most. I'm not just saying do cardio because it'll make you look better, it'll make you fitter. I want to show how does it help your brain. It will help you in a couple ways. One is we go back to blood flow, that if you're breathing heavily, you probably have blood pumping. But two is that if you control your breath, you control your mindset. Think about when you're stressed. When you're stressed, your breathing changes. When you feel frenzied, what happens? Your increases, right? You breathe heavier, you're shallower, you're not in control, and that affects your thinking, right? So the gorilla mindset shift you want to make is master your mindset, master your breath. Now, how can you do that? There is a way. One, you can do meditation, which we're not going to talk about, but it is one way people use to master their breath. I like to take a more active approach, and I do these breathing exercises at the gym. What I do is I get on the exercise bike or a treadmill. I actually prefer the exercise bike as I don't want to risk losing my balance, but you can use a treadmill too, but you may need to hold onto the handles. We're not, again, worried about the hard cardio right now. We just want to spend a few minutes getting your breathing under control. So what you want to do is move your body until your heart rate is around 150 to 170 beats per minute. You can get a heart rate monitor and wear it, or you can use the ones in the machine. Generally speaking, if you don't have a heart rate monitor, you want to think of yourself as a shorter breath. You wouldn't really be able to carry on a conversation with someone. And as you feel your breath rate increase, pause. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Release it. Deep breath. Hold it. Release it. Now, don't take this too far. I don't want people passing out or injuring themselves. That's why you have to be careful and ease into it. But what you're trying to do is, you're trying to not just let the breathing happen. What happens is when we're doing cardio, and you're not really mindful of it, you're just letting your body do what it wants to do. That isn't what we want. We want you to be mindful, we want you to be conscious, and we want to control your breathing. So again, you just take a deep breath, you just hold it and you release it. Focus on your breathing rate. You can do that for a couple minutes. Sometimes I do it for up to 5 minutes. But again, I'm not saying hold your breath or pass out or something like that. If you feel yourself a little lightheaded, obviously stop doing it and don't take it too far. And of course, always talk to a doctor before undergoing any kind of exercise regime. Posture and mindset are also connected. A good posture, it keeps your organs aligned, it keeps your balance proper, it makes you less likely that you're going to fall down and you're going to injure yourself. It also makes you look taller, look more confident, and it makes you look better looking. Good posture can improve your mood and even increase your testosterone levels and lower levels of stress hormones in your body. It also improves your breathing. Posture is so important that we're going to have a whole chapter on that coming up. In the meantime, take this gorilla mindset shift. Strong posture, strong mind. We have a whole chapter with pictures coming up. Before we do that, we're going to talk about the lymphatic system. Lymph and mindset are absolutely connected too. I didn't know much about the lymphatic system until I had a very bad lymphatic disease and I was having fluid in my body that was just held and stored. I would sometimes weigh up to 10 or 20 pounds more in a given day because the lymph fluid wasn't moving throughout my body. That's when I began studying it. The lymphatic system is ultimately your immune system. What it does is keeps you healthy by transporting white blood cells, which fight off infections, and other immune-boosting cells throughout your body. So make the gorilla mindset shift. A sick body leads to a sick mind. If your lymphatic system isn't working properly, you're not going to think. You're going to be tired, and thinking isn't going to be clear. It's going to be harder to focus. So the way lymph fluid works is it doesn't pump. The heart pumps blood throughout your body, but lymph fluid has to be moved throughout your body, and it has to be moved manually through your body. And then it recycles throughout your body. So there's no pumping system per se with the lymph fluid, much like there's with blood in your body. So what you have to do is learn how to get lymph moving. And there are some very practical ways that you can do this. One is physical movement, and that's the best way to do it. When you stretch, walk, or flex your muscles, lymphatic fluid is pumped up towards your heart, and that's where everything's filtered out. Again, this is why we talk so much about why physical movement every day is good. Even if you can't go to the gym and grind out the reps or train hard, you still gotta move around, you still gotta stretch, you still gotta flex your calves. Flex your biceps, it's gonna get that lymph fluid moving. Another thing you wanna do is wear compression garments. That's that Under Armour stuff that a lot of people wear. It can be a little gimmicky, but what happens is it pushes your skin together, which gets lymph fluid pumping. It can work very, very effectively. The contrast shower we talked about earlier, well, now you know why. It boosts the lymphatic system. What happens is hot water or cold water, or hot water or warm water gets blood rushing to the skin surface, and then when you switch the water to cold, it gets the blood pumping back to the heart. And that's going to move the lymph system too. Essentially, when you get a lot of good blood pumping, it has an overlap with the lymph fluid. The next thing you want to do is, there's a mini trampoline, it's called a rebounder, and when I was very sick, I would jump on a rebounder, that was all I could do. The rebounder, you just you don't have to jump up, you're not trying to be an acrobat. You just stand on the rebounder, get moving back and forth, and what's going to happen is the G-forces are working on your body, and you get lymph fluid moving in the process. And you can also use dry brushing. A dry brush kind of looks like a hairbrush with a lot of bristles on it. It's made with sometimes animal hair, sometimes vegetable fibers. And with the dry brush, you just massage or brush your skin as you would your hair. And when you brush your skin, start off at your legs and work your way up all the way towards your heart. That'll get lymphatic system moving as well. Finally, and this is the most fun, just get a massage. Massage gets lymph fluid moving. It feels great. When I say do something physical every day, that even includes massages. So when I'm not at the gym and I'm not exercising, I make it a point to go in and get a massage. Digestion and mindset. Now, it might be odd to think of your stomach when talking about mindset, but If you don't already know this, your mind is going to be blown. Mine was when I learned all this stuff years ago. But your gut has been called your second brain, and there's even a great book out there called The Second Brain. And think of it, really how? It's just the gut, right? Well, it contains over 100 million neurons in it. Our guts also contain serotonin and dopamine. One doctor did a bunch of research on it, and he said around 90% of our body's serotonin and 50% of our body's dopamine is stored in the gut. And remember, if it's good for the gut, it's good for your brain. Make that gorilla mindset shift. Again, the gut and the brain are connected. Now, we kind of intuitively understand this. If you have an important event coming up, maybe a job interview, if you've ever done a 5K race or martial arts competition, maybe even in a hot date, our bowels tend to act up, right? Nervous people who are worried also complain about bad digestion. That's because your gut is part of your central nervous system. In a way, it knows your state of mind. Now, luckily for you, your digestion is already improving due to mindfulness techniques and the self-talk. Because if you're mindful and you're conscious, your brain is less stressed, and it's going to make your gut feel better. You're not going to feel as uneasy, right, as we often feel in our stomach, because you're going to be calmer. But you want to work on the other end too. You want to improve your thinking by improving digestion and improving your gut. So one thing to do is get enough fiber. You hear it all the time, but now you know why it matters. If you care about your thinking, and you care about your mindset, get enough fiber. Experts disagree on the exact amount, but I think around 30 to 40 grams of fiber each day. You can get those from high fiber foods like raspberries, oatmeal. You can even eat air-popped popcorn just without the butter. Lentils and black beans are also a good source of fiber. So are artichokes, Brussels sprouts. There's even these things called fiber gummies, which are kind of like gummy bears or gummy type food that you can get at Costco and Amazon. They don't have any sugar, they won't lead to tooth decay, and they provide a lot of fiber. But be careful, they do taste very good, and sometimes if you eat too many, that can have the opposite effect. You want to find the right amount. Another thing too is you have around 3 to 5 pounds of bacteria living in your gut. It really is mind-blowing. It's called your biodome. You have trillions of bacteria on your skin, in your skin, under your fingernails, and in your gut. Bacteria inside your gut can be harmful or helpful. The helpful bacteria are the ones that boost digestion and affect serotonin levels, are known as probiotics. You've heard people say, right, eat yogurt, beef, or fermented foods like sauerkraut, or you can take a probiotic supplement. Well, that will improve your gut health, which again is going to improve your mindset. Another thing too is a prebiotic. Prebiotic is what the probiotics eat. Bacteria need food too, so you can eat prebiotics. There's one called inulin, which is over the counter, and that's spelled I-N-U-L-I-N. Prebiotics also come from green leafy vegetables, fruits, and green juices. So if you're eating a lot of vegetables, or you're drinking your green juice, or making green smoothies, then that can boost your bacteria too. As you can see, the mind-body connection is much more deeper and complex than you probably ever imagined. At least it was for me. Everything is interconnected. Your posture, your blood, your digestion, your diet, your exercise, your activity level, your lifestyle, your breathing, they all work together. It isn't one or the other. You want to find out ways to make them work together. They are connected and everything is connected. So, again, we can't cover everything because it is a mindset book and I want to focus on how these things help your mindset. But even if you hadn't heard of this stuff, you can learn more and you can learn a lot more because I have the books at gorillamindset.com/books. I especially emphasize the lymphatic system. A lot of us have never learned about it, and I think that you should try to learn more about that because that is your immune system and that will keep you healthy. Let's get a little bit more specific now. We've kind of talked about different ways that you can improve your mindset by looking at the different systems, the lymph system, right, lymphatic system, the digestive system. Let's talk a little bit more about diet and exercise, specifically how your diet and exercise can impact those systems and how they can improve your mindset. So make the gorilla mindset shift to get the most out of your mind and get the most out of your body. So again, I can't tell you everything about health and fitness in this book, but we can get some principles laid down, right? We can get some understanding. And again, I know a lot of you already lift weights and it may seem redundant, but I know a lot of you aren't. And I want to emphasize that if you do care about your thinking, you do need to start taking care of this kind of stuff. So here are kind of a few principles. You want to eat or make green juice or make green smoothies 8 to 9 servings of vegetables and fruit each day. I put vegetables in front of fruit because you do want more vegetables and fruit. Don't believe the hype. Fructose doesn't make people fat. Eating apples doesn't make people fat. Eating a banana doesn't make people fat. There's a lot of this weird bro science floating around about how food is terrible. It's all nonsense and it hasn't been proven. That said, you do want to eat a lot of vegetables and less fruit. You want to lift weights 2 to 4 times each week. Your weightlifting workout should be vigorous. You should be challenging your body. You should be trying to get stronger. You also want to perform cardio 3 to 5 times each week. You can do it on the same day as your lift. You can do it on a different day. You can do it in the morning. You can do it at night. It doesn't matter. Just do it. You also want to do something physical every day. So if you're not lifting weights or you're not doing cardio, go take a walk. Or again, get a massage. Use that as an excuse now, right? If you're saying, well, I'm going to get a massage, you now understand that that's going to actually improve your immune system. It isn't just an indulgence. That's what you think of a massage, right? I'm going to get a massage. It's so relaxing. Well, it is relaxing, which is good, and you shouldn't have to apologize for wanting to take a little time off, right, to relax. But it also is going to improve your immune system. It's going to get lymph fluid flowing. It's going to boost your mindset. And then in terms of diet, you want to avoid foods high in sugar, starch, or dairy. We all kind of know this already, but it's something to think about. You want to avoid those processed sugars. If you want sugar, eat an apple, right? If you want to get something sweet, eat a banana. Once you go off of eating refined sugar, a banana is going to taste very sweet. We evolved to eat fruit. Fruit should taste sweet. In fact, if fruit doesn't taste sweet to you, it means your taste buds have been fried by having too much sugar, and we want to change that. Now, these principles leave open as many questions as they answer, and I understand that. And that's why, again, I recommend so many different books, because you can't learn everything in one book. You want to study your whole life, and then you want to learn about your own body. And I don't know everything about your body. I can't know everything about your needs, and that's why we're covering concepts. You might be wondering, how much protein should I eat a day? How many calories should I eat today? And technically, you call them kilocalories or kcals, but let's just call them calories because that's what people say, right? But I spend a lot of time in the gym, and I know the answer to all this. It depends. Depends on so much. Some people don't eat much protein. There are a lot of vegans who look amazing. They don't eat that much protein. There are people who eat a lot of protein who don't look good at all, right? And there are people who eat a lot of protein and they look amazing too. It's your body, and you have to kind of figure this stuff out. Some people too, they can eat as much as they want, and they don't get any weight. I'm not like that. I can get fat very easily. Luckily, I can lose fat quickly too, but if I look at even junk food, I have to watch myself. So we all are different. We have different varying levels of insulin sensitivity. We process carbohydrates different. We process sugars different. So again, we're just going to talk about principles. So along that line, let's kind of talk about big picture stuff, right? What are the best foods to eat? Well, plants are the king. The more plants you eat, the longer you live. Every study has shown it. Diets high in plant foods are associated with pretty much every benefit you can imagine. Lower cancer risk, higher cancer survival rate, stronger immune system. Your skin even looks better. There's been proof, right? It's science. You can read it. That when the pigments from your food can be absorbed in your skin, so you get kind of a glow. The glow is actually comparable to tanning in a tanning bed 1 or 2 times. You're not going to get dark or a deep tan, but it does give your skin better texture, right? So you want to base your diet around plants. Eat as much vegetables as you can imagine, even more. 8 to 9 servings of vegetables each day is the target to go for. Almost all vegetables are great choices. I can't think of a bad vegetable that isn't good for you, right? They're all good for you. Fruit is good for you too. Again, don't believe the hype about that. You want to eat berries, raspberries. It all tastes really good. So, how do you come up with this stuff? Well, if you want to know a full list of foods, there's something called the Andy score. And what happened is that Dr. Joel Furman went through and he looked at all these different foods, and he said, well, which one fights off the most free radicals? Free radicals, they damage your cells. So what you want to do is eat foods that are free radical fighters, as they're called. Collard greens are big time. Kale, spinach, Brussels sprouts, arugula, red peppers, romaine lettuce, broccoli and carrots. These are all very high in the Andy index. If you want to learn more, that's ANDI index, and you can get a full list of foods, and they rate all the foods that are the best. And generally speaking, though, kale and collard greens are kind of at the top. Now, one thing you can do is if you don't eat all your vegetables every day, which I don't, is I make green shakes and I make green juices. Now, there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. I wrote 3 books on juicing. Some people say, well, juicing is going to make you fat, it spikes your blood sugar. But I and other people who drink green juice don't advocate drinking high sugar juices. My juice recipes don't include 5 apples that you chug down, but rather they include kale, celery, cucumber, spinach, and other leafy greens. And then you add a little bit of lemon, or you add a little bit of fruit for flavor, but that's it. You want to emphasize green vegetables. That is the best way to get 8 to 9 servings of vegetables a day. Now, do you have to juice? No, of course not. If you're eating 8 to 9 vegetables a day, good for you. I'm not here to tell you that you have to go buy my juicing books, but if you're not getting enough vegetables, look into it. You can also make what's called a green shake or a green smoothie. Joe Rogan, who's a former host of a TV show called Fear Factor, he's a comedian and UFC commentator, he drinks a kale shake each day. And I include the Joe Rogan kale shake recipe in the book because it's very popular and it's actually pretty good, and it's very nutrient dense. The Joe Rogan kale shake recipe is 4 stalks of kale, 4 celery stems, 1 cucumber, 1 pear, half an inch of ginger, and then 8 ounces of water just to make it a little bit thicker. And if you didn't write out that Joe Rogan kale shake recipe, not a big deal. I have a website called FitJuice, which is fitjuice.com, or you can just Google Joe Rogan kale shake recipe, and you will find that information on my site. So now we've talked about some of the vegetables and the benefits vegetables have. Let's talk about the 20 best foods for health and fitness. Now, what are the best foods, right? Again, we kind of look at the Andy score, which we talked about earlier, and we look at reality. What do the fittest people eat? So often people want to argue this or that, or they want to argue theory, but a lot of times just look at people who are fit, look at people who are healthy, look at people who look good, and what are they eating? And then, of course, we also look at Dr. Joel Fuhrman's research with the Andy score because we do want foods with high in antioxidants, we do want food that will alkalize the body, and we do want food that isn't going to be that high in sugar but is very high in nutrients. So here's the list of 20. I'll write this stuff out again at GorillaMindset.com. So, by the way, if there's anything that you find that you feel like, because it's an audiobook, maybe you're not getting, you don't have to pause it. All that information is going to be provided for you at GorillaMindset.com. I definitely have your back. So here are these 20 foods: chicken, salmon, white fish, lean beef, kale, carrots, sweet potatoes. White potatoes get a bad rep, but they're still pretty good too. Eggs are great. Whole eggs are great. The yolks are great. Blueberries, Brussels sprouts, arugula, red peppers, romaine lettuce, broccoli, asparagus, spinach, tomatoes, and oranges. Now, yeah, you want to eat a wide variety of foods, and I'm not here to be the food cop, but just think about you want to base your food around those 20, right? That's how you want to eat. Think of those 20 foods. So now that we got that out of the way, you want to maybe talk about calories. How many calories can you eat each day? And it's a tricky question. It's very hard to answer. The amount of calories you can eat each day is going to depend on your muscle mass, how active you are during the day, how hard you train at the gym, how often you go to the gym. And you also have something called a basal metabolic rate, and that is how fast is your metabolism. If you just laid around and did nothing, how much energy would it take to keep you alive? And it does keep energy, right, just to keep you alive. It takes calories. You have to eat something. So I have like kind of a rough guideline that you can use. If you're going to the gym regularly and you're training really hard and you're doing cardio, body weight times 15 is a pretty good starting point. So if you eat your body weight times 15 in calories, you're generally speaking, you're not going to gain fat, you're not going to lose fat. You're going to kind of break even. So very active 200-pound man consuming around 3,500 calories a day without gaining fat. That's about what I eat, and I just want to sort of maintain. Now, if you're not quite that active, you're not hitting it really hard in the gym, you want to go body weight times 13 to 14, that is a good starting point. So again, just do the math, right? So if you're a 180-pound male, you could eat around 2,300 calories or 2,500 calories a day without gaining any fat. But again, everything varies, and that's why when you're starting off, you want to track everything. There's a website called fitday.com I have no relationship with, so I'm not sponsored by them or anything. But what you can do is you can enter in your activity, your exercise. You can track all your food, and then you track your weight. So what you want to do is keep track of every calorie you eat for a couple of weeks, weigh yourself every day, and then you can kind of see, okay, well, here's how much I can actually eat without getting fat. That really is the only way to do it. All I can do is give you some guidelines, but ultimately there are so many factors that only you can know. That's why you have to track everything, and that's why I like that website called FitDay, which is FITDAY. So that's calories, how you can eat varies. You want to talk about protein, carbohydrates, fat, how much can you eat of either. Very hard to answer. Very hard to answer, again, because everyone's different. I don't do well with carbohydrates, so I tend to eat more protein and fat and less carbohydrates. I follow something called the zone diet or isocaloric diet. Roughly speaking, I try to eat equal amounts of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Other people differ. Other people can eat a lot of carbs and are fine. Other people eat even fewer carbs than I eat. There's even something called the ketogenic diet where you eat no carbs at all. It's all going to vary based on the person. I think a good way to start off is just start off kind of with the zone diet and then see how you feel, track everything, and then you're going to figure out what works best for you. Your health and fitness, it takes a lot of work. And then another question is, how often should you eat? And man, our pattern, right? We have a pattern, how do you know? It depends. Some people think you have to eat every 2 to 3 hours, and you have to keep your blood sugar levels regulated. And then other people completely disagree. For example, I do something called intermittent fasting. I don't eat for 16 hours out of the day, and then I only eat for 8 hours a day. And I eat around 2 to 3 meals a day. So I'm fasting, and that's why it's called intermittent fasting, because you're going through a period of not eating for 16 hours. Then I eat during the 8-hour window. Everyone is different. Some people hate that. Some people love it. But if you do want to start doing intermittent fasting, you want to kind of ease into it. So I would start off by eating every 12 hours on and then 12 hours off. And then I kind of worked my way up to longer fasts. But again, it's absolutely going to vary. Some people do great on intermittent fasting. Some people don't. Try things out, as always. So that's your diet. And let's talk a little bit about strength training. So again, I'm not going to give you a program, but let's talk about some concepts. The one concept is you need to be lifting weights. It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you're a skinny guy, you don't want to be a muscular guy, right? You need to be lifting weights. Even if you like to run, you need to be lifting weights. Strength training increases your bone density, which is a big marker of health. A lot of people get fractures, especially older in life, because they aren't strong. They don't have any kind of bone density. What happens is that putting stress on your muscles also puts stress on your bones. Stronger bones are going to lead you to a longer life. So you do want to lift weights. In terms of what program to follow, there's a book called Giant Bodybuilding that I like, that I endorse. There's another book called Body of the Spartan, which is very good. There are a lot of books. Starting Strength is another good book. They lay out the whole program. And there's also a good book called Get Serious, which is by an anti-aging doctor and a neurosurgeon, literally a brain surgeon. He's performed over 1,500 spinal operations. His book is called Get Serious. It's another great book that lays out a program. But the idea, again, too, is even if you think of yourself as kind of a smart guy or kind of a nerdy guy and you think that lifting weights is only for meatheads, that couldn't be further from the truth. You don't have to go to the gym to try to get big and bulky. You got to go to the gym because it's going to improve your mindset. It's going to improve your mental health. It's going to improve your thinking. So how do we kind of put this all together? I can tell you what I do. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. But here's sort of a typical day, and I don't like the word typical because since I sort of work for myself, my schedule's open. But let's just say I wake up at 8 in the morning. I'm going to do my right brain warm-up, do that cold shower, the contrast shower. I'll drink coffee or green tea, it varies. I cycle off of coffee. Sometimes I tend to drink way too much coffee, but when I do, I can suffer caffeine withdrawal, which I don't like. So then I'll drink green tea, but it varies. And then I'll go work. I'll work for several hours, and I'll eat my first meal around 2 p.m. And I usually eat eggs, vegetables, and some kind of meat. And then an hour or two after that, I go to the gym, I lift weights, and I usually do cardio. So I tend to do my cardio after I lift weights. Some people do cardio first thing in the morning, which is great, but that isn't what works for me. I like to do it after I lift. Then after that, I have a post-workout shake. So I drink beet juice or carrot juice or some kind of other juice, and I usually have protein powder. And then I eat a meal containing some of the 20 best foods that I talked about earlier, but I try to base my diet around. Now, am I perfect? No, of course not. Do I indulge? Of course. I'm definitely not here to tell you that I'm some kind of perfect person. I'm not, but I'm just sort of giving you some concept of what I go for. Sometimes I meet that standard, and then other times I have to work harder to meet it. And then after that, I eat another meal, kind of the same thing, right? Those 20 best foods. And then I like to have some 85% dark chocolate. Dark chocolate contains some polyphenols that are beneficial for your body, and I just like the taste of it. So, what I want to talk about more is the books, right? I realize that we've covered a lot of ground in a quick time, but you want to read these books. So if you go to GorillaMindset.com/books, you can learn so much more about all these subjects, and I encourage you to check that out. And speaking of further reading, I wanted to make sure that I brought you the best information possible, that this isn't just my opinion. So I was able to interview Dr. Brett Osborne, who is a neurosurgeon. He's performed over 1,500 spine operations and brain operations. He's also an anti-aging physician. He wrote a great book called Get Serious, which again, you can go to that book page at Gorilla Mindset and find out. But I was able to talk to him about health and fitness. So I'm going to kind of summarize the high points of our interview. So when I talked to Dr. Osborne, I told him that I'm just looking at things from a a mindset perspective, right? Not personal training, not how can you be the biggest and baddest. So we wanted to focus on how lifestyle, right, relates to health and fitness, and health and fitness relates to mindset. So I asked him, how does exercise improve our physical health? His answer was pretty surprising. He covered the exact mechanisms and get serious, but kind of the high points are lifting weights stresses your body. Now we tend to think of stress as being bad, but stress is good for you. There's two different types of stresses: acute, short-term stress, and chronic stress. Chronic stress is that agonizing, what am I going to do now, and just running in your head all the time. That's horrible for you. But short-term stress like lifting weights actually improves your immune system and has an anti-inflammatory response because it encourages your body to produce a bunch of substances to deal with that inflammation caused by acute stress. So you might think too of inflammation as bad, but it's that chronic long-term inflammation that's bad. Short-term inflammation is actually good for you. So what happens is the 4 to 5 hours a week that you're in the gym leaves your body less inflamed and less stressed out than you are in the 168 hours of a normal week. So he's also a doctor, and I wanted to know, well, how does it reduce diseases, right? We don't want diseases of our mind. We don't want dementia. We want to be thinking people. We want to be highly cognitive people. We want to be high-functioning people. So he explained it. It boosts our immune system, which helps our bodies fight off general illnesses. And it can also help prevent a lot of these so-called lifestyle exercises or lifestyle injuries and lifestyle diseases. A lot of these lifestyle diseases are connected between the heart and the brain. Remember we talked about that earlier? That if it's good for the heart, it's good for the brain. If it's bad for the heart, it's bad for the brain too. So resistance training, which is a fancy way of saying lifting weights, it improves your cardiovascular function. It also increases your HDL cholesterol levels, which is a good cholesterol that keeps your endothelial function good, and it boosts your immune system by encouraging lymphatic fluid flow. There's so many other benefits too. He said you could talk about it all day. If you have a critically ill patient, they're more likely to survive if they have higher levels of muscle mass. Essentially, they've shown that the more muscle mass you have, the more likely you are to survive cancer, the more likely you are to survive any kind of critical disease. More muscle is better than less muscle. There was also a 2008 study published in the British Medical Journal that showed muscular strength is associated with lower causes of death from all causes. So the stronger you are and the more muscle you have, the less likely you are to die of anything or everything, which is kind of amazing. And that's why Dr. Osborne is really big on lifting. He thinks you should also do cardio, but believes that if you have to choose, then it would be better to lift weights or to do push-ups or bodyweight squats instead of doing just so-called cardio running on a treadmill. And that's because muscle serves a structural role in your body. It supports your skeletal system, your joints, and ligaments. And this surprised me actually, but he told me 44 million Americans have low bone mineral density. In other words, they're at risk of having fractures. By training with weights, you improve your bone mineral density, right? That's going to lead to fewer injuries. Lifting weights also improves your posture and strengthens your lower back. The lower back is a big, big cause of work-related injuries. So it's pretty cool. And I went to ask him too, I said, I know you're not a psychologist, but mindset, body, talk more about it. He said, yeah, they're connected. The risk factors for cerebral vascular disease are the same as for cardiovascular disease. Exercise has also been shown to improve Parkinson's disease, which was pretty amazing. He also observed that 25% of the blood that pumps to our body goes to our brain. So again, when you pump more blood through exercise, you're pumping more blood to your brain, and that's why you want to lift weights. That's why you want to do hard cardio training. So he says to get serious, at the cellular level, exercise actually works the brain. Synapses are formed and connections to the peripheral nervous system are reinforced. When you acquire new motor skills such as squatting or deadlifting, you're creating new neural pathways, which again makes you stronger. So everything is totally connected. Again, mindset, body, they're not separate. Mind and body are one and the same. I then went on to ask him kind of about cardio. His answer is that lifting weights is best. Cardio is still good and you still should perform some cardio, but he prefers shorter duration cardio, interval training. And interval training is where you would do an all-out sprint for 20 to 30 seconds, and then you do 60 to 90 seconds of a lower intensity movement. The way I kind of do this in my own life is I'll get on the exercise bike and I'll pedal for about 5 minutes just to get blood pumping, I go really hard for 30 seconds. And then for a minute, I pump the resistance all the way down low, and then I just kind of pedal slowly. Then I do another 30 seconds, and I do like 5 to 10 sets of those. Those are actually superior to any kind of long duration cardio. And then, of course, ask me the big question people have. I'm crunched for time. I don't have time to go to the gym every day. I can go 3 times a week, and I can either do cardio or I can eat. He said it's a no-brainer, without question, lift weights. He says to his older patients, and some of them in their 80s or 90s, he would rather see them do 50 bodyweight squats a day than walk a mile. With that said, time management is a challenge for all of us. And think about exercises. You say you don't have time, but you're either going to make time now, or your body's going to make time later when you get sick and you're going to have diseases. So, again, everything I've talked about isn't my own opinion. This is the research that I've done, the experts I've talked about. So to learn more about Dr. Osborne, you can read Get Serious, or you can read the full interview at GorillaMindset.com. Now I have some health and fitness tips for you. We kind of call these the top health and fitness tips because this is what you really want to focus on. So remember the 80-20 rule applies to your health and fitness tips. The 80-20 rule has been studied and it shows that 20% of what you do leads to 80% of your results. We all kind of understand that, right? There are 20% of the people in your life cause 80% of the drama. 20% of what you do that's positive leads to 80% of the results. Same is true with health and fitness. People, especially young men, I used to be one of these people. You stress out every gram of food. Am I doing the best workout at the gym? Am I following the perfect diet? Am I doing everything exactly right? This 80-20 rule. Go to the gym and lift weights. Do some cardio. That's it. Well, what do I should do? What should I do? What's perfect? Just go. Show up. That is going to lead to such monumental improvements that you won't believe it, and then you figure out as you go. So always keep in mind that 80-20 rule, especially with health and fitness. Don't agonize over every detail. Show up and do something. You will see outstanding results, and then after you do that, you can troubleshoot. The next tip is lifting weights is the single best habit you can add to your life to improve your body and your mind. Dr. Osborne said it, I've said it, everybody has said it. Lifting weights is superior to every other form of exercise, as the more muscle you have, the longer you're going to live. The stronger you are, the less likely you are going to die. I kind of read it sort of, I don't want to say humorously because it sounds a little cynical, but a special forces soldier wrote an article and he said, stronger people are just harder to kill. I know that from experience. The same is true of nature. It's harder to kill us if we're strong. The next tip is to keep in mind that the best brain-boosting drug of a nootropic is exercise. Remember, if something is good for the heart, it's good for the brain. So when you're exercising, boost blood flow to your brain. Instead of thinking about this or something else, exercise first. Yes, there are nootropics you can take, and we'll talk about those. But think about it as blood flow to the brain is going to make you smarter. Because you want to be smarter, you want to have more self-control, you can't not go to the gym. The next thing to keep in mind is the leaner you are, generally speaking, the more carbohydrates you can eat. Fat people tend to store carbs more than skinny people do. There's a lot to do with insulin sensitivity and other issues that we're not going to go into great detail on. But just keep in mind that if you are fat, you do need to keep your carbs low. If you are lean, you can eat more carbs, but that's something you're going to figure out for yourself. Another thing which is really important along those same lines is you can eat protein and fat, you can eat protein and carbs, and you can eat protein and carbs and fat. But you cannot eat fat and carbs together without protein, because that's going to cause your body to secrete excess insulin and make the food more likely to be stored as fat. So if you're going to eat a cookie or something, have a scoop of protein with it. I'm not here to tell you you can't ever eat a sweet or ever have a dessert, but keep in mind that if you eat fat and carbs together and there's no protein there, it's going to be a big problem for you. Another tip is if you're going to eat that kind of stuff, or you have a big dinner out or a family dinner or something like that, try to eat some fiber, because the fiber is going to slow down the digestion of the food. It's going to slow down the sugars before it hits your body, and that's going to cause your body to secrete less insulin. It's also going to help your body stop absorbing some of the fat, and it'll also help you have good bowel movements, which we talked about with digestion. You can eat, again, broccoli, or you can try those fibers that we talked about earlier, those gummy fibers that you can find in Amazon and at some stores. Another thing is that the post-workout window is kind of overhyped but real. Here's one real overhyped. Supplement companies say, take our products. If you don't take them right after you lift weights, you're not going to make muscle. You're not going to make gains. Well, that's not really true. You can eat anything pretty much after you lift weights, but you don't need special exotic supplements. So I'm not going to go say eat a large pizza and everything, but if you have a sweet tooth or kind of a craving, eat that after you lift weights. It'll be much less likely to be stored as fat. What I do want to point out, though, is the post-workout window covers lifting weights with intensity. Yoga, cardio, walking, hiking is not the post-workout window. It doesn't count. So what happens is people will drink these 800-calorie smoothies after yoga or 30 minutes on the treadmill, and they take 2 steps back in their fitness goals. And they're wondering, why am I not losing fat? That's because you can't drink that kind of stuff if you're only doing yoga or only doing cardio. You have to go to the gym. You have to lift hard. The next point is that the best time to do cardio is when you do it. So much people argue. When is the best time to do cardio? Should you do it fasted, in the morning, on an empty stomach, at night? Please do it. If the best time for you is in the morning, do it. If the best time for you is after you lift weights, do it. That's what I do. I do cardio after I lift. It works fine for me. Sometimes I do it in the morning. It doesn't matter. Do it. Remember that we're all food addicts, too. Modern processed food is made to be addicting. Scientists engineer the most mundane and minute details of the food. There's even special grains of salt that hit your tongue a certain way. They manufacture salt crystals, I kid you not. That's why potato chips taste so good. That isn't regular salt that you have, or regular sea salt. The crystals hit your tongue in a certain way, which makes you crave more food. So if you're having trouble or you're struggling, just remember, we're food addicts. That's why you want to avoid that kind of processed food. And speaking of processed food, let's say you want to lose some fat. Here's what you don't want to do. Don't think about all the fat you have to lose, because that can seem demoralizing. I lost over 80 pounds of fat, and you know what? I felt great after losing 80 pounds. I also felt great after losing 20, and that's what you lose sight of, especially if you've never lost fat. If you need to lose 40 pounds of fat, 50 pounds of fat, that seems insurmountable. But you're going to lose 10 pounds of fat, and you're going to look and feel better. You're going to lose 10 more pounds, and you're going to look and feel better. And you're going to lose 10 more pounds, and you look and feel more better. So don't become demoralized, and don't just think, oh my God, I have to lose all this fat. Just think of it in stages. Okay, I have to lose 8. Example, I lost 80 pounds of fat. I have pictures posted on the internet. 20 pounds of fat. I looked better after 40. I looked better after 60. I looked great after 80. That's how you want to think of it. Reframe again, right? All the self-talk stuff we talked about earlier. Don't say I have to lose 80 pounds. Say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, so I'm going to look better. And then after you lose those 20 pounds, I'm going to lose 20 more and look even better. That's how you want to think. Now, yes, you can eat after 6 p.m., but you should keep your carb intake low. You don't have to be super strict or not have any carbohydrates, but your body doesn't handle carbohydrates as well as might. At night, you should generally stick to like maybe almonds, protein powder, egg whites, something along those lines, maybe string cheese, depending on how your body works. Also, you're going to have highs and lows in fitness. There are days you go to the gym and you feel amazing, you feel on top of the world. There are days when your workouts are a little mediocre, and sometimes your workouts are like, yeah, I feel like I'm not doing anything. That's just life. Gains are not linear. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But in the aggregate, in the long scale, you're going to be better. It's the same with your life. You have one body, you have one life. Life has highs and lows. Your health and fitness is going to be the same way. That's what you do it. Now, how do you stay motivated to go to the gym? There's an exercise. State control. It all comes together. Go to the gym, have a workout, and then write out how you feel. Afterwards, you're probably going to feel refreshed. Your body's going to release endorphins. Use the state control techniques. Capture that feeling, and then when you don't feel like going, try to return to that state. Remind yourself how you felt. Remember, gorilla mindset shifts. No matter how you feel before going to the gym, you're going to feel better afterwards. Although we've talked a lot about principles, there are a few habits too, and there's often overlap between principles and habits. But here are a few actionable steps and habits that you can add to your life that will improve your life. One is just throw away all junk food. Out of sight, out of mind. Remember our conversation about willpower. You have to use willpower to fight off temptation. But if you don't have the temptation in your house, you're just less likely to eat it. That's just reality. Another habit is avoid all white foods, which include sugar, milk, and bread, for a month. You don't have to eliminate them for your whole life. But some people, actually most people, don't do that well with these foods. Some handle them quite well. You want to find out what type of person you are. And that's kind of the theme of the book, isn't it? You have to sort of figure things out for yourself. Here are some principles, here are some guidelines, here are some habits. try them out and find out what works for you. So cut that stuff out for a month, see how you feel. You can always reintroduce it into your diet and see if you feel better. Next thing is, focus on what you can eat rather than what you can't eat. Remember, frame, focus. Instead of viewing clean, healthy eating as depriving yourself, oh my god, I can't eat sugar, I can't eat processed foods, focus on what you can eat, which are near you. You can eat bananas, you can eat strawberries, you can eat berries, you can eat apples. There's a whole list of tasty, nutritious foods that you can eat. Focus on ways to look at what you can eat and how you can spice those foods up rather than saying, oh, I'm living a life of deprivation. Remember, what you focus on is what you feel. Get a spice rack. A lot of times these foods can, no matter how you frame it or how you look at it, it can be a little boring. How many egg white omelets can you eat? But you can throw in some salsa, you can throw in some hot pepper, you can throw in some chili powder. I really like chili powder with eggs. You can get a crock pot. A crock pot will turn very lean, flavorless meat to a juicy meal. You can also throw everything into a crock pot before you go to work. You come home and then you have dinner. That overlaps too with willpower. If you have nutritious food in your house, what are you likely to eat? If you have no junk food in your house, what are you likely to eat? So you have clean food in your house, you don't have junk food in your house, your willpower is going to be a lot easier to focus on and a lot easier to use. Another tip is start juicing or blending. Most of us, we don't get enough vegetables. We don't get enough greens in our diet. An easy way to do it is make that Joe Rogan kale shake. You can also make green juices. I have books on that, but I also have a free website. I don't want you to think I'm trying to sell you on another book. You can go to fitjuice.com and you can get 85 different free recipes. Or you can always buy the book Juice Power, which is available at Amazon. Now, no section on health and fitness would be complete without talking about supplements. So I'm going to list some of the best mindset supplements. Now, before we talk about supplements, I'm going to tell you what they are and what they aren't. If you read the bodybuilding magazines, you'll learn that supplements are what make you big, they make you jacked, they make you ripped. Supplements don't do that. Anabolic steroids are what make you big, they make you jacked, they make you ripped. And that's what all those fitness models use. The same people who say buy our products, make it look like me, are anabolic steroids. Another thing to keep in mind is the supplement industry is unregulated, and that's kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, there are a lot of products that do improve health conditions that you can get. Ordinarily, for a drug to be improved, it takes up to 7 years. The FDA has all these kinds of trials that you have to do that cost billions of dollars. So a lot of things that could help you aren't ever going to make it to market because they're not profitable. On the other hand, there's a lot of shady industry practices. There are a lot of false label claims. A lot of people say something's in it and it's not in there. So you want to buy the best brands of supplements. And you want to buy supplements to improve overall health and mindset and get out of the idea that they're going to make you huge and muscular, because that's not really true. So there are some good brands that have been regularly tested, they've been scrutinized by Consumer Reports, and they meet the label claims. And by label claims, I mean this. A supplement might say, okay, this is a fish oil capsule, but it's really olive oil, but they sell you fish oil. That's very common. You want to buy from reputable brands that have stood the test of time. Jarrow is a good brand. The Life Extension Foundation is good. Now Foods is good. AOR is a Canadian company that's spelled AOR, in all caps is good. Also another great brand is Costco's homegrown Kirkland. Very effective. These do meet label claims. They're reputable. They're not looking to rip you off. So if you buy those brands, you're going to be great. Another quick note on supplements is that it's trial and error. It really is trial and error, and what works for you might not work for me. A great example is magnesium. Magnesium is responsible for over 500 different biological processes. Some people need more, some people need less. I had a reader write in and say, Mike, I read your post on magnesium where I advise people to take Epsom salt baths because you can't get magnesium from Epsom salt. He said I had insomnia for 3 years and I felt better. I'm the same way. I can tell when my body's running low on magnesium because I get restless leg syndrome. Well, you might not notice any of that, but you might take a zinc or a different one and it might make you feel amazing. Because often we're deficient in something where our body doesn't process things right, and we don't even know it. So trial and error really is the name of the game. And then another quick point is some people say, should I take a multivitamin or not? Most multivitamins are underdosed. There are a couple of exceptions, 3 exceptions rather. One is called AOR OrthoCore, and that's ORTHO Core. The Life Extension Foundation's Life Extension Mix is good. And there's a company called Super Nutrition that has an OptiPack. Those are multivitamins that are actually dosed adequately. Those are the good ones. Those are what you want to look for. Otherwise, the one-a-days, they don't have enough of what you need. Now, as always, talk to your physician before taking any supplements. Some of these supplements work because they improve blood flow, but often that means that they have anti-clotting effects. And some people are on medications that are contraindicated. This isn't just a legal disclaimer. You really want to make sure that you're not taking anything that is contraindicated in your diet. Okay, now are you ready for that list? This full list is available at GorillaMindset.com/supplements. So if you think that you don't hear something, no big deal. I'm going to post this for you. Like I said, I got your back. I make all this stuff easy. This isn't even a list in terms of order of importance. It's just a list. One of these things might be great for you or not great for you, and that's why I advise trying a lot of different things. One is N-acetylcysteine. What N-acetylcysteine does is it helps your liver detox its body. Yes, detox is real. Free radical damage is real. A lot of what people do is a chemical imbalance. The low serotonin is actually caused by oxidative damage and free radical damage. N-acetylcysteine has been used to treat mild symptoms of depression and anxiety. I've used it on myself and it eliminated my anxiety completely. I had Rhesus send me a very touching story. His father had intractable depression. He was 70 years old and they had tried everything. I wrote an article on N-acetylcysteine. His father tried it and it completely reversed his depression. Now that's not going to be the case for everyone. I'm not going to say this is going to cure anxiety or depression, but it's very beneficial because oftentimes these mental disorders, as you've learned, are caused by free radical damage and stress. Now, how much depends on who you are. 2 grams is usually what they use in the studies, and they use them in divided doses. The best way to take supplements is to take half the dose in the morning and half the dose at night. That way your body always has high levels. But if you can only take it one a day, you can only take it once a day. Nobody's judging. The next one is zinc and magnesium. Magnesium is responsible for over 500 different biological processes. Suboptimal levels of magnesium can lead to heart disease, depression, restless leg syndrome, and even insomnia. So magnesium, you can absorb it through your skin. A warm bath with 1 to 2 cups of Epsom salt is very relaxing and very effective. Another mineral is zinc, which boosts your immune system and improves endothelial function, and in some cases it can increase testosterone levels. Not for everyone, for some people. The reason I lump them together is ZMA is a very commonly sold supplement. Zinc and magnesium combined together. It's just like a marketing thing. I don't really know why it took off. It's very easy to find. So most ZMA is dosed 50 milligrams of zinc to 500 milligrams of magnesium. That's what I take. When I sweat a lot, I take a little extra magnesium. You can always buy magnesium by itself. Again, you can pick a soda bottle. It varies. Next on the list is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is a vitamin that's actually a hormone and is responsible for bone health, heart function, and even mood. A lot of people are deficient. In fact, most are deficient in vitamin D, as a natural source of vitamin D is the sun. But most of us don't get enough sun. When we do go out, we wear sunscreen. Because of this, a lot of people have seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. That's caused by low levels of sunlight, which is caused ultimately by vitamin D3 deficiency. The vitamin D3 is very important for mindset. Some people use it to treat symptoms of depression. The research varies. I generally take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. I usually take it with a meal. When I actually take it, and I'll write this all up if you want to know my exact schedule is, I take my vitamin D together with my fish oil and my magnesium. That's how I kind of work it. Speaking of fish oil, that's another supplement. Inflammation is a killer and fish oil is anti-inflammatory. Some believe that those in the blue zones. Blue zones are areas where they have more people over 100 than any other area in the world per capita. They owe their longevity to high intakes of fatty fish. So a lot of doctors consider fish oil a must-oil supplement, a must-have supplement. And Dr. Brett Osborne, that neurosurgeon and anti-aging doctor you heard from usual, he advises everyone to take between 5 and 15 grams of fish oil a day. The best way to take it is an enteric-coated tablet. A lot of people get what's called a fish oil burp. You can avoid that. Fish oil burp means you take the fish oil and then later on you burp and it's not very pleasant tasting. But the way to do that is get enteric-coated, which are absorbed better, or you can take liquid fish oil, which I've taken and actually tastes surprisingly good. There's a company called Carlson's, which has lemon-flavored fish oil, or you can freeze your fish oil and take it, and that's less likely to avoid the fish oil burps. Next is Greens Plus, or Greens Powder. Eating vegetables is essential. Making green juices is great. Green smoothies are great, but we can't always do it. We're on the road, we don't have time. There are a lot of reasons we can't do what we need to do. So greens powders are going to help make your body more alkaline. They help fight free radicals. Green Plus is a Canadian brand, and it's got a very good reputation. They also make something called Berry Greens, which are a little bit more palatable. Greens Plus is definitely an acquired taste. So a lot of people start off by taking the Berry Greens, which works effectively. Whey protein is another supplement that I believe in. It is kind of a supplement, kind of a food. I tend to view it more as a food because it's protein. Protein comes from meat, chicken, salmon, and lentils. And those are great sources of protein. The whey protein has some effects of your immune system, and it can boost your immune system. There are compounds in there that help you feel stronger. They help you recover faster. Again, it isn't magic, but it's a little boost, and it can boost your immune system, which, as you know, is important. I take around 25 to 50 grams of whey protein a day. A lot of times I'll mix my greens powder with the protein because I just chug it all down essentially. So maybe I'll take a scoop of Greens Plus, a scoop of whey protein, throw in some almond milk, stir it up, and just chug it down. It makes it a lot easier to take, and it's great for my body. Another great supplement is curcumin. Curcumin is a compound isolated from turmeric. Curcumin reduces inflammation throughout the body, and it's been used to treat inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. Some people believe, and by some people I mean there's research actually showing this, that curcumin can slow the growth of cancerous tumors. Now, ordinary curcumin is hard for the body to absorb, so there's a black pepper compound in a lot of them called piperine, which helps increase absorption. How much to take? I take around 500 to 1,000 milligrams of curcumin a day, and I take that with my fish oil and my vitamin D3 and my minerals. But again, the timing is important. You just want to think about taking it. And curcumin works for some people, other people don't notice anything. Again, trial and error. Next one is B complex. You want to take a whole B vitamin with all the B vitamins. Thiamine, riboflavin, B3, which is niacin, B6, B12, and folic acid. B vitamins are very important. They improve your heart health, they improve your nerve health. A lot of people notice that they boost energy. If you look at those energy drinks, they contain caffeine and they contain a lot of B vitamins because that can improve focus, mood, and concentration. But what's focus, mood, and concentration? Mindset. Now you can see why we pick these supplements. These are things that are going to help improve your mind. Now, low levels of B vitamins, which isn't that common except in very impoverished places, when people are undereat can lead to anemia and poor memory. So the idea is you want to find optimal levels, right? Too often we think of either sick or we're healthy. But there's a spectrum. Just because you're not sick doesn't mean your body isn't about to be sick. You want to be as strong as possible. Now, there's a lot of different B vitamins. I like AOR. AOR has a really good company, and they make a great B vitamin, and that's the one I take. The next supplement is kind of a class of supplements, which is nootropics. Nootropic is a brain booster. But remember, what is the best nootropic? Exercise. So a lot of these brain boosting supplements are off for hype, but they don't really deliver that much. The best nootropics actually work by improving blood flow to the brain. Again, it's common. So quercetin works because it's an anti-clotting supplement. It increases blood flow to your brain. So a lot of people have used that for deep brain thrombosis. Your arteries, your veins, they're all connected. Everything's connected. So I don't want to sound like a broken record, but again, the pattern cannot be overstated. If it's good for your blood flow, it's good for your heart, it's going to be for your mind. And then there are some mood-enhancing supplements. There are some supplements that have been shown to ease symptoms of anxiety and depression through serotonin regulation. So these don't work by boosting blood flow, unlike the other ones. These work on the feel-good chemicals. So tryptophan is an essential amino acid that the body doesn't produce on its own, and it's a precursor to serotonin. So the body produces serotonin from tryptophan, and results vary. Some people with Asperger's or on the autism spectrum have had outstanding results of tryptophan. This varies again based on person. Another substance is 5-HTP. And 5-HTP is a serotonin precursor. A lot of you might be familiar with. I don't want to talk about partying or anything else, but a lot of people take it to recover from hard partying, and it's very well known as it helps your body recover from serotonin depletion. 5-HTP also helps a lot of people to sleep. So those, I think, are the best supplements out there in terms of mindset. If you want to know more about these or where to get them, or you couldn't keep track, or maybe I tripped over my words, go to GorillaMindset.com/supplements and I have the full list for you. Chapter 8, Mindset is Posture. Now more than ever, you appreciate that the mind and body are not separate, they're linked. We talked about health, we talked about nutrition, we talked about focus, we talked about exercise. Now we want to talk about posture. Your posture absolutely impacts your mood, it impacts your feelings of well-being, and it can even impact your hormonal levels. There have been studies showing that people who sit with an open Weaker posture have lower levels of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and high levels of testosterone. Your posture also improves your state of mind, which is why we have a bunch of pictures to talk about. There have been studies showing that if you feel sad and you physically smile, your mood actually boosts. And just so you know, we're not kidding, I got another interview with you with Dr. Jeremy Nicholson, and I'm going to summarize that for you. Dr. Nicholson, you'll remember, is a social psychologist, a PhD, and we talked about a lot of the research on this posture stuff. So he made a few points, and talked about the studies, and he said, well, why is good posture good for your mind? What's going on? And he said, well, some of it is just that good posture is about having an open, upright, and relaxed posture, so you're not impinging upon everything, right? Things just function better. You just relax. Think about if you're sitting hunched over, you're compressing your diaphragm, your lungs aren't open up, it's going to be harder to breathe. Of course you're going to feel more stressed out because your body has to work harder to breathe, your body has to work harder to talk about. There have also been studies showing that it can increase testosterone, and that's because there's a biofeedback loop between your body language and testosterone. And if you look into the jungles, the lower status primates have to sit with a very enclosed posture. They can't take up that much space. The higher status primates are able to take up more space. So when you're taking up more space, that tends to trigger in your body that you're higher status. A lot of this stuff is, again, tricking your body by using your mind. Another thing is that dominant body language has a reciprocal relationship with your emotions. When you're happy, you smile, right? It's natural. But remember what we're talking about. Not everything we just do is natural. We want to think about how can we change how we state, right? Change our state, change how we feel. You're like, well, I'm happy, so I smile. Well, then why don't you smile when you're unhappy, and maybe those will trigger feelings of happiness. There's actually been research showing that, yes, indeed, that's true. So if you want to change your state, change your body, change your posture, smile. It's a big deal. So a lot of these posture exercises are related to mindset, and engaging in them and performing them regularly is going to improve your mindset. It's also going to make you feel a lot better. You're going to feel more relaxed, you're going to have better habits, and you're going to feel happier, again, because you're smiling. This, again, from Dr. Jeremy, and the full interview is at GorillaMindset.com. Causes and cures of poor posture. Poor posture, and Lord knows I'm not riding a high horse on this because I work on my posture every day, because my posture can be terrible. The poor posture results in repetition, largely due to the pressures, temptations, and distractions of the modern world. If I'm sitting at a desk and my shoulders are slumped, and I'm leaning forward, I'm reaching over all the time to work on my mouse and my trackpad, that's teaching my body to have a very tight, very impinged posture. So when working at a desk on a laptop, I have the same bad posture habits as everyone else. Repetition. So these are a few exercises that you can do if you want to correct these posture habits, and you want to get over what's called the eye posture. I don't know who came up with that term, but my friend Victor Pride told me about it. There are some articles talking about it, and eye posture is simply when you see people on their iPhone, how are they sitting? Their neck is bent, they're leaned forward, their arms are stretched out in front of their bodies, which is making your chest tight. We want to get rid of that eye posture. We want to correct the damage we did body when standing. So there's some pictures in these books. You can go to GorillaMindset.com/posture to see what poor posture looks like and what good posture looks like. Generally speaking, with good posture, your chest is upright, okay? You're stretched out. Remember that walking thing we talked about, mindfulness and walking? Same way as true posture. Your chin is up, your shoulders are back, and your arms are hanging naturally by your side. Check out GorillaMindset.com/posture, and I'll show you those pictures. So you can improve it. Even if you don't have good posture, it's just like with your mindset, you can correct it. But just like with improving your mindset, correcting bad posture is not something that's going to happen overnight. This requires vigilance. Expect to see gradual improvement rather than overnight results. I do this posture stuff, I'm not kidding you guys, 3 to 5 times a day, every day. And that's because we train our bodies all day to have poor posture. So it takes months to unlearn the bad posture. But remember, focus and framing. You're going to get a little bit better every day. So don't think, well, my posture's still bad today. Well, of course, but you're still a little bit better, you feel a little bit better, and you make this continual progress. So perform these posture exercises as often as you can. I tend to do 10 repetitions or 10 movements of the posture throughout the day, 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes more depending on how I feel. Now, you might feel some tightness. That's because your muscles aren't used to these stretches. You also might cough, because what happens when you lean forward and then you start to open yourself up, You have excess carbon dioxide trapped in your body. Your respiration isn't good. So a lot of this stuff feels really weird. I know this because I've shown so many people how to do these, and I've done them. A lot of people feel tight, a lot of people cough, so it happens. This exercise is called the abundance posture pose. We call this the abundance posture for a reason. The reason is that your mindset and posture are linked. So when you're doing this, don't just perform the exercises, but imagine that you're opening yourself up to possibilities. You're opening your body up to the universe. You're opening your body up to what the whole world has to offer. You're thinking of yourself as abundant. Physically, the abundance posture pose opens up your hips, shoulders, pelvis, and abs. Again, you might cough or feel pulling in the stomach. Totally natural. That's just because your abdominal cavity has been stressed. So there are 3 parts to the abundance posture pose. And although there are 3 different pictures, you want to make the movements as fluidly as possible. Step 1. While standing with your legs slightly more than shoulder width apart, thrust your butt back while raising your chest up. Your arms may hang freely by your side. So essentially you're trying to teach your body to align itself, and if you stick your butt back a little bit and raise your chest up a little bit, it'll feel more natural. Step 2. Extend your arms up into the air. Again, imagine you're opening up your body to the universe. As you raise your arms up, feel your chest rise and your neck rise backwards behind you. Step 3. As you start to perform this movement more fluidly, you start to feel yourself fall backwards a little bit. It's a little natural because your arms are reaching back behind you and your neck is being stretched back. And your eyes are almost looking back behind you. I kind of imagine I'm about to fall into the ocean. You should feel your abdominal muscles and your hips opening up slowly. You want to perform the abundance posture frequently. Again, 5 to 10 reps several times a day. If you do that, you will absolutely feel better. Your posture will improve. We also have a couple of other posture exercises that you can perform. So how can you improve your posture while standing? So this is an exercise you can perform up against the wall. So when you sit, our hips become tight, our shoulders are permeated and lean forward. So if you perform these exercises, it'll help bring your shoulder back in proper alignment. So what I like to do is I stand up against the wall with my posture as perfectly as possible. And you want to lift your arms up at about a 45-degree angle so that your forearms are parallel with the ground. And I have, again, pictures at GorillaMindset.com/posture. You can also see the pictures in the written book. So when you stand on the wall, what you're doing is you're just trying to extend and spread your arms out as much as possible. And you want to try to feel the back of your arms up against the wall. A lot of people, our shoulders are so tight that we can't even raise our arms up and press them up against the wall. So you want to do that, again, as often as you can. 5 to 10 reps are good. Just get a good stretch in. Sometimes you do in the morning, sometimes the afternoon, sometimes all of the above. The important thing is, again, be more mindful of what you're doing. Now, you can perform these same kind of exercises while sitting. You can do a variation of the abundance posture pose right from your desk. So you want to think about the same way that you do it standing. So what you do is, you sit with your triceps parallel to the ground and your forearms perpendicular to the ground. And you just stretch your arms out from there. You open your chest up, right? That's all you're doing. You're extending your arms out, you're raising your head up, you're raising your chest up, and you're leaning back again almost as if you're falling back. The only difference between this and the standing variation is that you're actually sitting down so that your legs aren't stretched out as in the other one. So again, extend your arms out as wide as you can. Open up your whole chest. Imagine you're looking up at something that's above and slightly behind you. As you do that, you will feel your body start to align. Again, if you want pictures, go to GorillaMindset.com/posture. Now that page is password protected. It's only for book readers. So the password is Cernovich, and that is case sensitive. Capital C and then ERNOVICH. Thanks again. Chapter 9, Mindset is Money. Make more, save more, and invest more intelligently. Now you might say, why are we going to talk about money in a book about mindset? And again, because everything is sort of interconnected. If you have money, I'm not talking about being rich necessarily, but if you have enough money that you're not going to worry about your rent, you're not going to worry about your next meal, is that going to improve your mood? Is that going to improve your state? Is it going to be easier to focus? Of course it is. So it's very hard to have the right mindset if you're worried about money, you're worried about your next meal, you're worried about how you're going to feed your children. It's all very stressful. What we want to do is improve your money situation, though, by changing your mindset. Again, always think of these things as reciprocal. Everything is connected. They come together. So the first gorilla mindset shift is that money is like oxygen. Without it, you will die. Money is not something you want. It is something you need. Without money, it is simply impossible to live. Yet somewhere along the line, we were told that money is evil. My relationship with money was complicated. I grew up poor, so I really didn't have a sense of what money was or how people made it. I honestly believed that the only way to get rich was to cheat people. I thought you had to steal to make money because, again, I had no idea what it was. I was also too afraid to believe in myself or to take the risk that people would take. So I had no idea. I didn't believe in myself, and if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to make a lot of money. My relationship changed in college, and it was kind of a small thing looking back. At the time, it was catastrophe. So a friend of mine asked me if he could borrow my car. I said, sure thing, no big deal. It was just an old Ford Escort station wagon, probably a $500 or $600 car, but it got me to work, and I had to work my way through college. No problem. Get it back to me at the end of the day. Well, you know what happened next. I was in college, and I didn't foresee this happening. My friend crashed my car. Now, was it his fault? Was it my fault for lending it to him? We don't think about that. We don't think about fault. The point is, I was in a bad situation. My car was totaled beyond repair. I was powerless. I had to go to work. How am I going to make money? Pay my bills. What am I going to do? There was no public transportation where I lived. A girl who lived near me had to drive me to work. One day I thought to myself, this will be the last time I never have money. That was horrible. Again, in the grand scheme of things, was it a big deal? No, but at the time it was a big concern. And that was when I changed my view on money. Another gorilla mindset shift is that money is neither good nor evil. The pursuit of money is far from the root of evil. Having money allows you to do good in the world. If you have money, you don't have to compromise your values. I actually learned that when you make money, you can be honest because you don't have to lie, you don't have to take shortcuts, because you're not always trying to hit that next scam, right? That next scheme. You have that stability. Money also gives you access to better healthcare, better food, and you can donate money to charity. So I always tell people who say money is evil, do this experiment. Go make a lot of money. If you decide that it's a bad thing, give it all away. But here's what you find. Once you start making money, you can actually do a lot of good in the world. I made my living as a lawyer, and I was able to do my podcast for free and my website for free because I had some money saved up from being a lawyer. If I hadn't been able to help the people I've been able to help with my writing and with my speaking. Also, you know where the New York Public Library came from? It came from greedy capitalists. They donated the money to the library. Yes, you can make money honestly and ethically. You can also use your money to do a lot of good in the world. And yeah, you can cheat people, or you can use your money to buy drugs, but money is, again, neither good nor evil. It isn't that money is evil, it's whether you're good or whether you're evil, so you can use it accordingly. Now, there are two components to acquiring wealth, making money and saving money. Now, that might sound a little simplistic, but make the gorilla mindset shift. When it comes to money, it's not what you make, it's what you make and what you keep. Again, why does that seem like a big point? There was a huge book called The Millionaire Next Door. It changed the way a lot of people thought about money. And the authors of The Millionaire Next Door, they learned some startling facts. Those of us that we think of as rich were actually deep in debt. And those of us that we viewed as maybe working class or middle class were often rich. What they learned was that many plastic surgeons, doctors, and investment bankers spent all of their money and more. They were actually in debt. Bigger house, bigger car, boats, yachts. So high-income earners often spend all that they made and then some. And we all tend to do that, right? We make more money and then we spend more of it too. We grow into our incomes. Well, there were a lot of people previously that they were of modest means who had a lot of money, and that's because they made money and they smashed it away. So how can we do it? How can we think about money, right? How can we save more money? Well, I'm not going to just say buy a budget, right? Buy a budget, start a budget. That's sort of basic advice. I want to make a mindset shift with you, right? Stop attempting to buy smarts. A lot of what we buy isn't something we need. We just want to impress other people. Now, I'm not a minimalist. I have the newest MacBook, I have great headphones. I actually have 3 pairs because I'm a kind of audiophile. And I buy the best microphone for my podcast. Right now I'm in a recording studio. So I'm not a minimalist or saying don't buy anything. But think about it. When that iPhone comes out, do you actually need the new iPhone, or do you buy it for that cool factor? If you want a great example of that, look at Beats by Dre. By all objective measures, Beats by Dre are inferior headphones. There are way better headphones by Sennheiser, Audio-Technica, V-Moda, and other brands that blow them away by objective sound quality. But why do people buy those Beats by Dre? They buy it for the status. So even though they're headphones, they want that logo, because people were convinced that if you have these headphones, you can afford expensive headphones. I'll say, for example, I have a pair of $300 headphones, the V-Moda Crossfade 100s. Great headphones. Nobody knows they cost $300 though, because they don't have that marketing machine behind them. But if I wear Beats by Dre, then people know they're $300, right? So that's what you're doing. You're buying things to signal status to people. Is that really what you want to do? So you can save a lot of money by not trying to buy status. Now make no mistake, people will judge you by how you dress, how you look, and you do want to be professional and look good. So I'm not saying be a bum or don't look nice, but just ask yourself when you're buying something. Am I buying it just to impress people? Am I working harder just so that people know that I can afford a $300 headphones? And what does that really get you, right? What does that get you in life if you have $300 headphones and people know that they cost $300? It just buys you crappy headphones. And what kind of people are even impressed by that? Are they people you want in your life? So before buying something, ask yourself, is the product actually going to enhance your life? Or are you buying the product for you or to impress other people? Another thing you want to ask yourself is, are you spending your money as a way to self-medicate? Do you spend it mindlessly? Do you think you need more money because, as George Carlin quipped, you want to buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like? That very often happens to us. What happens is we work very hard, and then we say to ourselves, well, what's the point of having this money? What's the point of working in a job I don't like? Why should I work this hard if I don't spend it? But what are you doing? You're medicating yourself, right? Well, maybe you want to stop thinking about it that way, right? Maybe you don't want to buy things to self-medicate. Maybe you want to say, instead of spending this money, because what's the point of working a job I hate if I don't spend it? You could say, well, I should save this money, because what's the point of spending my money when I know that it'll keep me trapped in a job I hate? See how that mindset shift works? So this isn't just, oh, stick to a budget, save 10% of your income. It's all good stuff, but that isn't how I want you to think. I want you to think, why are you spending your money? Why are you buying it? Are you buying something to make you better? Are you buying something to improve your life? Or are you just kind of spending it mindlessly and you're not caring? And maybe you're buying it again for the status. That's what you want to think of. Perhaps consumerism is acting as an opiate for your life. If that's the case, ask yourself, maybe I should change my life. To make the gorilla mindset shift, do you need more money, or do you think you need more money to escape your current unhappy situation? Or maybe if you change your current situation in other ways, you wouldn't feel the need to make more money. Now again, I am not attacking money. To the contrary, I love money. I want to make more money this year. I want to make more money next year. And I want to have as much money as possible. Money is great, and you should go make as much money as you possibly can and then some. But the question is, why are you making it? Why do you want it? What need do you think it will really fulfill? And is it going to actually fulfill that need? Be more conscious and be more mindful. So the best way, ironically, to save money is to stop using money as medication and stop using money as status. So now we're going to talk about how you can make money. We've talked a little bit about how to save money. In the same line of thought, how can you make more money? Now, I'm not here to say, get a better job, get a better this, get a better that, because that's the kind of boring stuff that you guys can find anywhere, and that's not what I'm here to do. We're big picture thinking, right? Mindset shifts. So the first mindset shift you want to make if you want to make more money, abundance mindset. You see money everywhere. You live in a world of abundant resources. You see wealth and opportunity everywhere. When you make that shift, and I know it because I made it in my own life and I've helped so many other people make it, the world looks different. Because again, you can view the world as being scarce or as abundant. You can say there are no opportunities, what if I do it for this many child, what about this? If that's what you choose to focus on, that's the world you're going to see. The world is either scarce beyond measure or abundant beyond measure. It's all in how you choose to look at it. Another mindset shift you can make is think like a producer rather than a consumer. And what do I mean by that? Well, have you ever bought something? Well, of course, right? You bought this book. You're listening to this book. I'm a consumer too. I buy a lot of books. I go to seminars. I buy headphones. So I'm not anti-consumer. I'm anti-mindless consumer. So be a mindful consumer. Why did you buy this book? Well, that's how you think like a consumer. You bought this book, or rather, that's how you think like a producer. You bought this book because you're thinking, well, it's going to make me a better life. Well, how did I sell it to you? What did I do? Think about all those steps. Well, clearly I established credibility. I wrote for free. I've done podcasts for free. You know who I am. I did all that. Well, why can't you do it? You can. You can help people have a better life. You have value to offer the world, and that's why you just want to start thinking about it. When you go into a store, whenever I buy something, and again, I'm not a minimalist, but when I buy something, I think, well, why did I buy that? What brought me into the store? Why did I come here? Why did I come back here? Why do I buy these kinds of products? Because that's the producer's mindset. Because now I start thinking, well, why can't I do that too, right? Why can't I do it? I read books. Well, why can't I write a book? I listen to audiobooks. Why can't I do an audiobook? I listen to podcasts. Why can't I do a podcast, right? Whatever your dream is, it doesn't matter. Maybe you want to open a coffee shop. That's what you do. Well, why can't you do it? Well, it's because you're thinking about things like a mindless consumer, right? You sort of showed up and bought here and I don't even know why I did it. But when you think about a producer, you think, well, I know why I came in here. The storefront, the location, the service. And then you take those skills and you take that mindset into any kind of business. So that is a very powerful fundamental mindset shift you can make. Another thing you can do is get in between transactions. Middlemen have a bad reputation. Everybody always says, skip the middleman, skip the middleman. But a middleman brings real value to people because it brings together buyers and sellers who might not have otherwise met. I'll give you an example. I'm in affiliate marketing. I am a middleman. I write product reviews. I write book reviews. When somebody buys a product after reading my review, sometimes I get a commission, and that's why I always disclose that. I'll say, well, I'm getting a commission here, because then people can say, well, okay, maybe I should discredit you, or maybe I give you more credit. But I leave that up to the consumer. So I'm a middleman, but I bring value to buyers and sellers. If I introduce you to something you've never heard of, and it can improve your life, then I've made your life better if you buy it. Well, if the seller had never found you or wouldn't have found you, well, you never would have got that sale. So I've made the seller's life better. So think of yourself as a middleman. How can you be a middleman? I even have middlemen working for me. I have a book on juicing and people get a 50% affiliate commission. So every time somebody sells the book from a review that they write, they get a 50% commission. Gorilla Mindset will have an affiliate commission. So when people sell Gorilla Mindset, they get a commission. And I love my middlemen. When I know that if you sold a book for me, I probably wouldn't have sold it. So why would I not like a middleman? So again, start thinking, how can I get in between transactions, and how can I add value to the buyer and to the seller? Next, make this Gorilla Mindset shift. It's a limiting belief that you have nothing of value to share. People do value what you have to say. They do value your answers. So start getting paid for giving answers. In Wall Street, on a much grander scale, they make billions of dollars putting buyers and sellers together. They're called market makers. You don't have to be on Wall Street to be a market maker. Again, just start thinking, how can I put two people together? How can I add value to both parties and put people together who had never met each other? And then you take a commission. That's all you do. Another thing you can do is start scaling you. This is big. The world is wired. Everybody's on YouTube. Everybody's on Google. You have skills that you can share with the world. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be a gardener. You could be a personal trainer. You could be a mechanic. The chances are you're not stealing your information. You're keeping it bottled up inside you. Or perhaps you only share that information via word of mouth with a friend. The vast majority of us are not sharing our knowledge, and that's a big mistake. A friend of mine, he gives seminars on how to organize your Gmail. A lot of us have very cluttered inboxes. I don't know how to create filters. I don't know how to make folders. I don't know how to do anything. So his seminar will clean up your inbox in 60 minutes, and he can solve all your problems. He's given this presentation so many times, but you know what he's never done? He's never recorded it. By recording this conversation, he would scale his knowledge. He could always sell that to people for information, or he could upload it to YouTube as a way to market himself. That way, when people were looking at how to organize their Gmail, they would find him. He runs an IT consultancy, so maybe that leads to something else. But the point is, he's going to do it anyway. He's going to teach you a seminar. Just spend a little bit of extra time to record it, edit it, and upload it, and now you've scaled your information. The great thing about the internet is you can scale any kind of business. You can do SEO. SEO gets all this voodoo stuff attached to it, and that's because a lot of people want to sell you on junk. But SEO just means search engine optimization, and it means you create content that the search engines, i.e. Google, will rank. But the number one search engine is Google, and the number two search engine is YouTube. So here's a real quick SEO tip that you can use for basically any business. I actually helped a guy who was a landscaper, and he grew his business this way. Here's all I did. I said, take your guys out and record them doing whatever it is they're doing. Cutting shrubs, killing weeds, it doesn't matter. Just record it. And by the way, if you have an iPhone, you have better technology than they had in the recording studios 30 or 40 years ago. Record it. When you record it, upload it to YouTube. Title it whatever the name of your city is, and title it whatever you're doing. It could be what weeds are you killing in your area, how to kill bluegrass in North Dakota, or how to cut down palm trees in Miami. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. I don't need to know what you're doing. The idea is just write down what you're doing, where you're doing it, and that's how people are going to find you. Because what happens is people go to Google or go to YouTube and they say, well, how do I trim my tree? And then they find your video, which again, you're not doing anything extra because you were already going to do it. All you're doing now is scaling it. So again, I don't need to know your skills. It doesn't matter because all you have to do is film it, title it, and then solve a problem that people have. Everybody has problems. People want good food. Maybe your food tastes the best. Maybe you have organic food. Maybe your food is sustainable. Maybe you want an ice cream store. I don't know what it is, but the point is start thinking about your business. How can I scale it? An example with me is my whole business that I do now is essentially scaling people, asking me questions. People would always come to me for advice. They'd always ask me questions. I'd get all these emails from people. And then I thought, well, I could answer one email that reaches one person, or I could do one YouTube video, or I could write one article, or I could do a podcast that reaches so many people. So I have posts that I've read by hundreds of thousands of people, right? Well, that's scaling my knowledge. That's all I've done. People are searching for solutions to problems. The mindset shift to make is that you have solutions to problems. Even if you're a lawyer or a doctor, you can do this stuff. And people think, well, how can I be a lawyer and scale my knowledge? Well, I had a really highly successful law blog, and I worked in a really sort of small niche area of civil rights litigation, especially police misconduct. So I'm one of the few people in the country who really understands that police officer violated the law and hit somebody with a police baton and use that taser. That was my specialty. But what I would do is when I had a client, I would do legal research on solving problems, and then I would strip away anything about that client, and I would just publish the law, because law is law and facts. That's what legal analysis is. What are the facts of your case, what's the governing law, and then oftentimes they work together in tandem. So it's not that simple, but oftentimes people are just looking for the law, and they would find it. If you are any kind of information professional, real estate agent, people want to know, what's a mortgage rate? What does it mean? What is a point on a mortgage? I mean, I don't know what the point on a mortgage is because I rent rather than buy my house. So if I wanted to learn this stuff, I would type in, what does it mean to have a point on a mortgage? If I find your side of your video, well, who am I going to look to hire? Who am I going to look to refer me to someone else? You, because that's how I found you. And how did I find you? You answered a question I had. So make that gorilla mindset shift. Record everything you do. Don't think, well, it's not good enough. If you have a smartphone, you have better video cameras than film studios have in the 60s. All the sitcoms you watched growing up, this stuff is even better. Again, I don't know what you're doing. Start thinking of ways to scale it. Start thinking of how you can be a producer rather than a consumer. Those are going to be big ways to help you make more money. Another mindset shift to make is skate to where the puck is going. Now, what does that mean? Well, Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player who ever lived. Some would say he was the greatest athlete in the sport, and that Michael Jordan was the Wayne Gretzky of basketball. And people said, well, why are you such an amazing hockey player? Gretzky said, a good hockey player plays to where the puck is. A great hockey player plays to where the puck is going to be. What you want to do is get to the market before it's a market. Go to where the puck is going, not where it is. That's how you make more money. Have you noticed, for example, that there are juice bars springing up on every street corner? There are parts in New York and San Francisco and LA where there are as many juice bars as there are Starbucks. Well, what happened? Joe Cross released a documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and in that he chronicled his health and weight loss transformation. That came out, 3 or 4 years ago, and when this documentary was released, people saw major economic opportunity. I'm one of those people. I saw that documentary over 3 years ago, and I said, this is going to be big. Juicing is going to be big in the U.S. Now, juicing had been big before from Jack LaLanne and from the Juice Man, but it sort of died down. I saw this book, and I said, go, do it, get into juicing. So I did. I started a website about juicing. I wrote a book about juicing. I did affiliate marketing for juicing. And I ended up making a pretty nice living off of just that juicing website. So what happened? I saw where the puck was going to be. I saw that juicing was going to be big. Juicing is still big, but right now actually might be a little bit too late to get on it. That's why you want to think, where is the market heading? Have you watched a movie? Have you seen an advertisement? Maybe it gives you an insight into a new trend. It doesn't matter. And then sometimes you can reverse trends. If you look at Nike, Dove, every large corporation caters to women. Everything now is about women's empowerment, which is great. I support women's empowerment. But who's being neglected? Men. There aren't pro-men messaging out there. The kind of mindset is, men are alone. If you're a man, you just gotta figure things out. Shut up, don't complain. You're a crybaby. We only care about women. And that's an underserved market. GQ, Gentleman's Quarterly. They hired a staff writer who used to work on the Anti-Man website. This woman's job was to talk about how evil men are and how bad men are. Now she works for a man's magazine. So men are underserved. I know that because men are primarily my market. They're an underserved market. So if you can find a way to market to men and to deliver products and services to men, that's going to be a booming market, and it's going to be even bigger over the next 10 years. So again, think about scaling yourself. Think about where that puck is going. What is going to be the next big thing? And how do you figure that out? You think like a piece of rather consumer. When you watch a movie and you think, the juicing is going to be cool, don't just think, well, I'm going to go buy a juicer, which is what I did. I bought a juicer, but then I thought, how can I get in on this? That's what you want to do. That's what it means to skate to where the puck is going. Another powerful mindset shift you can make is to become a trusted authority. Now, when we grew up, we were taught that only some people were allowed to be authorities. You had to wear a lab coat. You had to have a degree. That isn't the way it works here on the internet. If you want to become an authority and you put the work in and you can demonstrate that knowledge, you can become a trusted authority. How do you become a trusted authority? Well, if you have the answer to a problem, you are an authority on that problem. That is all it means to be a trusted authority. Why do you go to doctors? Because they understand problems. They understand diseases. The same thing. If there's a problem people are having, you can solve it. You are a trusted authority. That's all it takes. Now, of course, it's more difficult than that. You have to put the study in. You have to put the work in. But by now, you already know this. By the way, don't tell people you're an expert. Show people. And that's where those YouTube videos come in handy. If you lost 20 pounds of fat, well, now you know how to lose 20 pounds of fat. You're a trusted authority. But to gain that trust, you gotta show, don't tell. Post those before and after pictures. Post what you did. When you show people, rather than tell them you're an expert, that's how you establish authority. The same is true with those people who teach music on the internet. How do you show you're a musical expert? You don't say, I'm an expert on music. I know everything on music. That doesn't mean anything today, especially to people on the internet. You show them, you perform, you actually perform and engage into skill. That's how people learn your trusted authority. Show, don't tell. Now, the great thing about becoming a trusted authority is a cognitive bias called the halo effect. Now, the halo effect can get us into trouble, but it can also work for us. It's just kind of like a thinking shortcut we make. So if someone's a doctor and he talks about politics, sometimes we think, well, boy, that guy must really know a lot about politics, because we apply that halo from being a doctor and all that education into everything else. But it really isn't true. There's an astrophysicist, and I like his stuff as much as anybody, called Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he's great at what he does. He's great about talking about the stars. But when he talks about politics or law and subjects that I know a lot about, I just think, well, that guy's kind of weird, you know? But if you don't know about that area, the halo effect kicks in and people think, well, Neil deGrasse Tyson says it's about politics. You know, he must really know it. But use that to your advantage. You want to create a halo around you. The way you do that is you got to be professional in everything you do. If you are an authority and you are a trusted authority, you have to demonstrate that authority every day. You have to show people and know what you're doing. When you give answers, be well-researched. Give people solid answers. When you don't know something, just say, I'm going to learn it. Also be transparent. When people catch you making a mistake, embrace it. Thank people. We live in a very transparent social media society now, and a lot of the old marketing tactics don't work. The old marketing tactic is, well, when people criticize you, ignore it. People won't ignore it, they won't go away, and we all make mistakes. If you're a trusted authority and you've built that halo around you, and you're transparent, just say, you know what, wow, I made that mistake. You're right, thanks for pointing it out to me and appreciate it. When you do that too, you build a reputation. Warren Buffett, who sometimes is the world's richest man, but he always makes that list. He's way high up there. Put it best, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and 20 seconds to destroy one. If you go through life with that mindset, you'll do things differently. That's absolutely true. Remember, with transparency, it's going to help you more than hurt you. I, for example, can't be caught doing anything. I've pretty much disclosed everything. Details of my life, my most vulnerable moments, are all on the internet. I don't hide it. So if somebody caught me slipping, or maybe I made a mistake, people are going to think, wow, we've caught this Mike Cernovich guy, he's such a fraud, we've exposed him. I would just say, well, I forgot about it. And given my track record, people would believe me because it actually would be the truth. And people understand that you're going to slip. The memory's not perfect. A lot of times people think they're lying and they're not lying. A lot of times you just forget. Details become wrong. But when you're transparent, when you've developed authority in one area, and when you just say, you're right, I was wrong, I didn't know that, you don't lose your reputation, you don't lose your credibility, and your credibility is everything. So some big picture stuff, again, these mindset shifts that you want to make, if you want to make more money, say to yourself, mantras, affirmations, I have solved problems that others struggle with, therefore I have the answers that others need. Tell yourself, I am a content creator. Tell yourself, if I want to be a TV star, I'll start my YouTube channel. If I want to be a radio star, I'll start a podcast. If I want to become a writer, I'll self-publish my own books. Tell yourself, I am a producer rather than a consumer. Remind yourself, my reputation is everything. I will never abuse the trust others have given me. Once you make those gorilla mindset shifts, you're going to start seeing money and opportunity everywhere. We've talked about saving money. We've talked about making money. So now you want to know, where do I put my money? Investing your money, right? What do you do? But before putting your money in the stock market or anywhere else, it is true. It's a cliche, but a lot of these cliches are true. Have some cash set aside. Some people say 6 months. Some people say 12 months. The point is, have cash. Things happen in life. We get sick. We can't make money. Stuff happens. You want that cash available. Next, before you think about buying a stock, you pay off your high-interest credit cards. The interest rate on the credit card is going to be way higher than the return on your investment. And then I'm going to give you some real boring but basic advice that most people don't follow and get them in trouble. Dollar cost average into the market at regular intervals. Now what does that mean? We're going to talk about it more. We're going to talk about intelligent investing. And then this again doesn't come from me. It comes from the best. It comes from Warren Buffett. It comes from my friendship with Wall Street insiders. And I have the guy who's a Europe hedge fund manager of the decade. And I've got all kinds of financial advisors that I've spoken to. Make this shift, the gorilla mindset shift. Become an investor, not a trader. Now what I'm going to say is going to outrage a lot of people. But what I mean that primarily men. Men get really mad when I say this. I'm so used to it. Every man thinks he's a day trader. And this gets people into big problems. Well, you're not a trader. You're not going to beat the market. The only way to beat the stock market is if you have an edge. And that means some kind of inside information or insights no one else had. If you're reading a website and they're giving you stock tips, that information has already been filtered down from people at all the banks, people on Wall Street, all the real players have let that filter down. People with that kind of information don't write an article about buying a stock. I mean, think about it. If I knew the Coca-Cola company stock was going to go up by 10%, why would I go write an article on it? I would just go buy a lot of the stock and I'd keep that to myself. Because a lot of people might say, well, how did you know? Did you have inside information? People in the know aren't writing articles. So don't be a day trader. You're going to lose it. Now, a lot of people say, well, I can prove I'm a good trader and look at my last stock trade. But that doesn't look at the whole performance. You have to look at every trade that person's ever made. Now, how often do your friends, and we all have them, they're all expert stock traders, let them show you their whole portfolio. Show me every trade you've ever made in your entire life. How do you not hear so much from them? That's what I tell them. When people say, I'm a day trader, and Mike, you're wrong. I say, show me every trade you've ever made, and then we'll average it out against the market. Well, you know, I got hard information. We'll get real quiet real quick. That's because the real players are on Wall Street. Because after all, why would you be a day trader if you could run a hedge fund? If you're really beating the market, why are you going to play with your own money? Play with other people's money. Play with house money. That's when you make the real big money. So we want to become an investor, not a trader, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. It's real simple. Dollar cost average into low cost index funds. Let's define both of those. Dollar cost averaging just means you buy into the market in low cost mutual funds at regular intervals. You don't time the market. You don't think, well, I think the market's going to tank, so I'm going to wait. Or I think it's going to go up, so I better buy now. Or, I read this article on some website telling me that you have to buy now or you're going to be left behind. You just say, I'm going to buy at such and such date. For example, I buy low-cost funds every 3 months, like clockwork. I don't say, well, maybe the market's going to go up, maybe it's going to go down. I just use discipline, investment discipline. Every 3 months, I buy funds, that's it. Now, sometimes the market's up, sometimes the market's down. It's called dollar cost averaging. You average out, and the way you have to look at it is, if you think things are going to get more expensive, which they are, we have inflation, then the companies selling that stuff are going to go up in value. So you're buying into the market, and the market is always going to go up in the long term. Again, we're going to have corrections. It goes lower, it goes higher. Dollar cost average. Into low cost index funds, right? What is a low cost index fund? Simple. An index fund tracks the overall market. In the U.S., the S&P 500, which is the Standard & Poor's 500, is comprised of the 500 biggest stocks, and it kind of tracks the overall stock market performance. It tracks sort of everything, and that's what you mean by investing in the market. All of those big companies, in the long term, are going to go up. And you just buy into it every month, right, or every 3 months. So dollar cost averaging, make this real mindset shift, takes discipline, but you have an abundance of discipline. Again, I know that's boring, but that's the way it works. That's the way the real players are. You know those people that are on TV pimping stocks and saying buy this and buy that? When you actually audit their own portfolios, they have low-cost index funds. They dollar cost average into them. That's what they do. But there is one exception. There is one stock you want to buy into and you want to buy into big. And we're going to talk about that stock next. So what is that stock that you want to invest in? That stock is something that only you can know, and it's called U Inc. U Incorporated. So if you talk to some real players, the real deal on Wall Street, they're all going to ask you the same question. What's your edge? Your edge is that inside information. That's something that you know that no one else knows. Well, what edge do you have? You have an edge in you, and there's valuable stock out there. U Inc. What is it? What is U Inc.? Well, it's you. It's how you view yourself. When it comes to making money, how do you see yourself? Do you view yourself as a laborer, a worker, a drone, a wage slave, an entrepreneur? There's no wrong answer here. Remember, if you have low feelings of self-worth, no big deal. Chapter after chapter, those can be changed. But how do you view yourself? I'll tell you how I view myself. I view myself as a corporation, and I have to buy stock in this corporation. And just like any kind of corporation, I have to run myself intelligently. I buy new equipment that I need. In my case, that usually means buying information. You, for example, have taken a step in U Inc. You bought Gorilla Mindset. You're listening to it right now. That's proof that you're willing to invest in yourself. You're investing in yourself because you believe you have value. And just as a corporation buys new equipment, machines, and hires employees to increase its bottom line, you're doing the same thing. But maybe you aren't even thinking of yourself that way. So U Inc. is your personal brand. And we all have one. Even if you don't run your own company, even if you just work at a job, even if you're a part-time employee, it doesn't matter. You say, I want FaceTime with the higher-ups. What's that recognizing? You have a brand. You want to get noticed. That FaceTime implies there's something about you. If they just see me, if I just get noticed, then big things are going to happen. Well, it's a brand, right? That's all it is. Maybe you never thought of it that way, but that's the way you want to think about it. So then you think about, well, how can you distinguish yourself from everyone else? How can you show that you're different? Differentiation is that big deal. Why do you drink Coke rather than Pepsi? Why do you have a Mac or a PC? If you're reading Gorilla Mindset on a Kindle, an iPhone, or an iPad, or you're listening to it, well, why is that? Well, because there's something different about each product, right? Everything's different. But you have to differentiate yourself. Who are you? If you're in an office, how are you different from everyone else in your office, and how do you show it? Again, go back to become a trusted authority. This isn't just stuff that you can apply if you own your own business. You can apply this to your own companies, you can apply this in any kind of context. Well, how are you different? How do you differentiate yourself? What do you do that no one else can do or no one else will do? Maybe you show up earlier, maybe you stay later, maybe you offer more value. I don't know. But think about how you can stand out rather than how you can blend in. And that's how you become your own personal brand in any kind of context. That's how you build U Inc. Building U Inc. is just about investing in yourself, is viewing yourself as a money-making machine, because that is really what you are. And again, you gotta be different, and that's hard, because we're taught from birth to conform. Do what everyone wants you to think. live by others' expectations, but you know what's coming by now, right? Those mindset shifts you made early on have completely changed how you think about things. But I'll give you a warning. When you become you Inc., you differentiate yourself and you become a trusted authority, you're going to stand out, and that means you're going to get haters. You're going to get a lot of haters. There are entire websites devoted to just nothing but hating about me, gossiping about me, talking about how I look in the picture. That's the name of the game. But you have to ask yourself, are you going to live for yourself or are you going to live for haters? Because ultimately, when you don't take action, when you don't do something, when you're afraid of being rejected, you're saying, I'm not going to live for myself, I'm not going to live for my friends and my family, I'm going to live for haters and negative people. And is that who you want to live for? It's not who I want to live for. And then a kind of a pithy way to put that is from one of my favorite books. I recommend this to everybody. It's called Choose Yourself by James Altucher. And Choose Yourself is a broad look at today's economy. He works at a staffing company, and by works I mean he's on the board of directors, and he gives you the inside look. Large companies are looking for ways to cut costs, and that means they want to fire you, they want to give you lower benefits, they want you to work harder for less money. And Choose Yourself Altucher makes a compelling case that the days of doing good work and really being discovered are long over. Instead of waiting to be discovered, you have to choose yourself. In my own life, I wanted to start a podcast. No one said, Mike, come on our show, come be a guest, come do this. I just said, you know what, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to see what happens with it. Ironically, my podcast has more ratings on iTunes than Ask Altucher, which is written by James Altucher, or it's the James Altucher's podcast. So James Altucher wrote a book called Choose Yourself, and he's very popular. He has a podcast called Ask Altucher, and I said, you know what, I'm going to choose myself. I'm going to do my own podcast. I don't care. I'll figure it out as I go along. It's actually got more ratings than James. And James, if you're listening in, I don't say that to you and just sort of think it's kind of funny that the ripple effect, right? You never know where things are going to go. So you want to find ways to choose yourself in your own life. Ask yourself, are you waiting for others to recognize and appreciate you? Don't. Take action. Become your own hype man, become your own marketing man, become your own PR department. And if you have a goal or desire, wait on no man or any woman to give you a chance. Seize the opportunity by choosing yourself. Another great reason to be yourself as a you Inc. is because there are a lot of tax advantages to that. Even if you have a job, you can still start a business. I think everyone should start a business no matter how young or how old. Get something on the side going. Again, I'm not one of those people who says, quit your job and go try to start a business. Do something on the side and you can. There's a lot of tax tips. So we're going to talk a little bit about tax advice. And although I'm a lawyer, I'm not your lawyer, so always seek a professional to talk about these tax issues. Let's make a gorilla mindset shift. Plan ahead for your financial future by minimizing your tax bill today. The costs of paying taxes today are astronomical. They are high. Paying taxes today will leave you with substantially less money tomorrow. Your total returns on your investments will decrease because you're not going to have as much money to compound. Compound is what? The eighth wonder of the world. You either understand it or you get crushed by it. Compound interest means that if you get 10% more every year, a bigger amount of money underlying that is going to be a bigger amount of money 10 years from now. An example, if you have $10,000 compounded on a yearly basis over the course of 30 years at a 5% return, you're going to have $43,000. Well, what happens if you have to pay a 25% income tax? You have that same $7,500, you have that same 30 years, and you have the same 5% interest rate, where you're only going to have $32,000. So when you're talking with even bigger numbers, maybe a 10% return on investment on $100,000, you can now see this is a lot of money. So that $2,500 you pay up front ends up being over $10,000 in the long run. That's a big deal. You want to think about how to minimize your taxes. So it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, Canada, Australia, the US. Think about how you can minimize your taxes. Now, a great way is if you're in the US, is you can start a side business and become self-employed. So that just means if you pay a W-2 at your real job and then you're self-employed, you can deduct things that it costs to run your self-employed business, that little side business. Now, IRS has a bunch of definitions. I link to all this stuff at gorillamindset.com/money. I'm not going to read all the regulations, but I do link to them. But generally speaking, You can be self-employed part-time. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of women who run Avon stores and other kind of multi-level marketing things from your house. You can have a home-based business. You can have a full business. Just don't think, well, I have a job, I can't have another business. You absolutely can. In fact, most rich people have 7 different sources of income. They have 7 different businesses that they're running. You want to have multiple streams of income. The way to do that is you set these side businesses. And when you do that, again, you minimize your tax bills because business expenses are tax deductible. Now, what are business expenses? Again, go to gorillamindset.com/money for all the regulations and rules. But generally speaking, if you're running a business to make a profit and you need to buy something for your business, then it's the business expense. It can be the miles you put on your car. If you use a home office, you can deduct part of your home office. If you have to wine and dine a client, you can write some of that off too. So there are a lot of different things. In my line of work, I'm able to write off my phone, my MacBook, all this like hosting fees. When I get web design done, I write that kind of stuff off. Logo design work. Right now, I'm in a recording studio to this audiobook. Well, that'll be another tax deduction, right? So as you can see, there are all kinds of benefits to viewing yourself as E-Link, to becoming a trusted authority, to scaling your knowledge, starting a side business. There are tax benefits, there are health benefits, everything is better. So start thinking about your side businesses. With that said, let's talk about some habits and some mindset shifts that you can make. Think about this kind of stuff all the time. One is view yourself as an investment. Again, that can be your mantra. This goes back to affirmations. I could just say, I am an investment. I am you, Inc. I am my own company. You can frame all this stuff as a mindset shift, as a habit, as an affirmation. View it however you like. But the point is, view yourself as an investment. Remember, you are the most valuable company in the world. There's only one of you, and you are gone. That's it. Find a way to build yourself up to be as big as you can, to be as great as you can, and know you can do it. A more practical tip is, we all know this, but people don't do it. Don't use credit cards unless you can pay off the balance in full each month. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Now, it seems simple, but credit card companies get offer all these incentives to get you to sign up, right? 0% balance transfers, free dining, airline miles. They want to get you caught up. Be very careful. Think about the willpower stuff, right? If you don't have it, you can't use it. Think about the junk food. If you have junk food in your house, are you more likely to eat it? Probably. If you have a credit card and you're really not in the right situation to have it, maybe you shouldn't even have that credit card at all. Another habit is always think about businesses you can start. You don't have to have one, but I have multiple businesses. I have my choosing business, I have the Gorilla Mindset business, I have a seminar business, I have a law business, I have all kinds of different businesses, and my hands are in a lot of different things. So I'm always thinking, how can I get inside businesses? I even think when I meet people, well, maybe we can do business together. Maybe I can invest a little something, who knows? That's how you want to think. Another one is start saving for retirement today. It doesn't matter if it's $1. Just get into the habit of saving a little bit of something every day, and then dollar cost average in the stock market every month. Remember, don't be a day trader or a trader at all. You're an investor, not a trader. Keep in mind, sometimes you're going to buy high, sometimes you buy low, it will average out in the end. Another habit, and it's kind of a mindset shift too, is differentiate between wants and needs. When you're broke, you don't get to buy what you want. You only get to buy what you need. But we tend to delude ourselves in believing a want is a need. Be conscious, be mindful, differentiate between wants and needs. Another tip, and this will change your life, especially if you have a salary job. If you get a raise, live off your own salary, your old salary. You were living just fine off of your old salary. I've made more money this year than I made last year. You know how much money I live off of? The same amount of money as I live off of last year. Every dollar more that I make this year goes right back in the market, goes right back into my long-term savings. The way I look at it, my life was just fine last year. If I make more money this year, so what? How is it going to change my life? And if I buy stuff that I want instead of I need, right? That's how you have to think. Now again, I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, don't indulge. That isn't the point of this book. But the point is, if you're living fine and your life is fine and you get a raise, all that money goes to savings. The same is true as if you receive a windfall, don't spend it for a year. If you get a big bonus at work, maybe an inheritance, or maybe you win the lottery, don't spend it for a year. What's going to happen is you start to think that you have that money coming in all the time, but you don't. It's a windfall. That's why basketball players go broke. That's why actors go broke. That's why people who win the lottery go broke. Let's just say, for example, $1 million appear on my lap. I would say, wow, that's a lot of money. But that's one time. I would want that to last me a long time. But if I took that million and said, boy, I have $1 million, I can buy a Ferrari, and I can buy this, well, that isn't $1 million coming in every year. That's a windfall. So just don't even touch it. You were living just fine. You weren't starving to death before you got that money. Just sit on it. And then after a year, if you want to buy yourself something nice, go for it. The same is true as that raise and that salary. If I'm making even more money next year than I am this year, sure, I'll up my lifestyle a little bit, but I won't go all the way into my salary. What I'll do is I'll just up a little bit, but I'll leave a lot of room to spare. That's how you're going to make more money. That's how you're going to save more money. That's how you're going to invest more intelligently. And that's how you're going to have financial freedom. Chapter 10, Mindset is Vision. Change what you see, change what you get. Visualization has been used for centuries by athletes to improve their performance. You can use the same visualization techniques in your own life, and in fact, you probably already are using visualization. Now, a lot of you are thinking, well, I'm not an athlete, why would I do visualization? And I don't know how to do it, it's very hard, I don't play sports, how will it help me? But you do know how to use visualization. Make the gorilla mindset shift. You may think visualization is difficult, but in fact, you've already mastered it, and I'll prove it. Do you think about the past, or do you ever ponder bad memories? When you think about the past, do you involve one or more of your 5 senses, like sight, sound, taste, and smell? Do you feel happy or sad when you think about the past? Does thinking about the past elicit emotions in you? That is, does it affect your mood or state? Of course, I don't know, maybe you've never thought about the past, but I have. And when I have, sometimes I felt sadness, sometimes I felt regret. But all I've done is visualize something, and that changed my body. But let's start talking about visualization and how you can use it to take your life to the next level. Talk about how you can use visualization to achieve your next goals. Use the same concepts and techniques you did when thinking about the past. The only difference is you are treating your dreams as more real than your memories. Now, some of you might think, well, that's corny, I'm not a dreamer, I'm not a daydreamer, I'm a doer. But are your memories true? Are they right? There have been all kinds of studies done on memories. Most of our memories are false. Most of our memories don't actually depict what happened. Our memories are constantly changing. It's constantly being updated. So it isn't a stretch to say that your dreams are just as real as your memories, because chances are your memories are very false, they're biased, and again, there's a whole body of research on cognitive science showing that our memories are terrible, and a lot of times we remember things that actually never happened. So make that mindset shift. Just start to treat your dreams as if they're more real than your memories. And when you do that, think about who you want to be. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Remember, skate to where the puck is going? That's just visualization. Where is it going? What is everything going to do? So here's an easy way to do it. When you're thinking about the past and that happens, just tell yourself this isn't real. And instead of thinking about the past, daydream about the future. But when you do that, involve all of your 5 senses, and you're going to be really surprised by what happens. Here's how you do it. Try to remember your 5 senses. Can you see it? Can you smell it? Can you taste it? Can you feel it? You want to sense everything, and you want everything to be as real and feel as powerful as possible. And you don't even know what's going to happen, which is one of the interesting things. When you start using visualization, what happens is you meet a higher quality of people. And you're thinking, well, how do I even meet that person? Well, it's because you're becoming that new life. You're seeing it first because you have to see it to want it. I'll tell you a story. I was loading up my 1989 Ford Escort to visit my sister on the East Coast. My dad and I got into an argument because he didn't want me to take the road trip. He wasn't a hater per se, but he's kind of worried, and he grew up in a small town. Would my car make the drive all the way across country? But I didn't know any better. I said I'm going to do it anyway, and I drove. When I went there, I hadn't been further than an hour away from my home, because we never had a family vacation. I'm not going to say I was the poorest kid who ever grew up, because I wasn't, and people had it way worse, but things like a family vacation were foreign to me. We never had a car that could get further than an hour away from our house without it breaking down, and I remember the car breaking down by the side of the road many times.